On Wednesday, the judge in Jonathan Major's domestic violence trial allowed evidence to be released to the public for the first time, and in an audio recording, and I haven't heard this yet, but I have the transcript of it. The actor scolds his ex-girlfriend, Grace Jabari, for going out and drinking, and he says some pretty inflammatory things.
I listened to it, yeah.
Okay, he said, "How dare you come home drunk and disturb the peace of our house when we have a plan?" He tells her that she needs to be, quote, in a certain mindset to support him, to be more like Coretta Scott King. He goes, "Do you know who that is? That's Martin Luther King's wife, Michelle Obama, Barack Obama's wife." He says, "I'm a great man, a great man."
He says it a couple of times.
"I am doing great things, not just for me, but for my culture and the world."
Oh, what's
You know,
happening?
it's funny when I was listening to this, Preston, because he came out and he was the presenter of an award at an award show. And I remember turning to my wife when he came out. I think he's a really solid actor. You know, that aside. He comes out and I said, this guy is crazy full of himself.
He loves
You could
himself,
just
doesn't
tell
he?
the way he was carrying himself.
I don't care for people like that who are just really like, you need to understand, I am something
I'm
special.
a great man.
Yeah.
The dynamic, though, in the audio, Preston, and the way she was responding was very much Mel Gibson. And what was her name? Or it was
Sulman,
Oksana.
or no?
Oksana. Yeah, Nick. I think you might. So
I was thinking of Octomom. Sorry.
Yeah,
Nadia
Sulman. Yeah, they all blend together. But that same dynamic, Preston, where you hear her going, "I know, I'll try." She's recording it purposefully, you know, and so she's sort of, I don't know.
So
I wouldn't say massaging it.
So this was audio that the woman in the case recorded and submitted for, and so now it's public.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
The judge released it. Oksana
Gregorieva.
Gregorieva or something along those lines. That was the whole Mel Gibson thing, which of course he was screaming all his wonderful Mel Gibson-ness stuff. I don't have, Casey's not here, so we don't know where all these clips are hidden. I would dive into the Mel Gibson stuff. But he goes on to say, the woman that supports me needs to be a great woman and make sacrifices the way that man is making for her and for them ultimately. So, wow.
It's heavy duty. So it does that. What is really more damning is a lot of surveillance footage which has come out.
Yeah.
Which,
yes, it has.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mal. But you know how she's saying, So in this Major's video audio, the girlfriend is, or now the ex-girlfriend seems to be playing that sort of subservient role. Now, mind you, she's obviously been abused, or at least she feels she's been abused, and that's why she's recording this. But that dynamic to me is always kind of weird.
Yeah, but he's still saying those things.
He's still saying those things.
So that's what he believes.
He is a great man.
Oprah Winfrey, a great woman, confirmed the speculation that she is taking a weight loss drug akin to Ozempic in an interview with people.
Didn't she just say that she didn't take it?
Yes. Remember I said she said she was doing it the old-fashioned way, and I said she was ordering Ozempic by fax machine.
Yeah.
Winfrey told the outlet, "I now use it as I feel I need it as a tool to manage not yo-yoing." She did not reveal which particular medication she is using. She said, "The fact that there's a medically approved prescription for managing weight and staying healthier in my lifetime feels like relief, like redemption, like a gift, and not something to hide behind and once again be ridiculed for. I'm absolutely done with the shaming from other people and particularly myself." So I guess maybe at first she was a little embarrassed when she was doing that, but you shouldn't be. Listen,
she bought Weight Watchers, though.
This is a tool that is available for people who qualify for it, and if you take it, rock on, man. If it's helping you, then that's all that matters.
It's absolutely fine, especially if it helps get your weight down and it helps you fight diabetes. There's no reason whatsoever, and then try to follow a healthy lifestyle.
I eventually would like to see if they can.
I'm eating it right now.
Well, no, if they can tailor it to where you can take it in certain doses that it assists you, it's not necessarily
everything.
You have to have it, but like she said, if you can help it use it to help maintain, that'd be wonderful.
Well,
man.
that's how it works. It goes in doses. You have to start at a low dose and then it increases. But the drug is it's positioned as having to use for the rest of your life. Like if you if obesity or your weight is a chronic issue,
right?
This is what they're saying. You will have to use it for the rest of your life.
So Kathy,
unless you can completely change your lifestyle,
right?
But the same would be
during it
would be true for diabetes. So in a lot of cases, you can reverse diabetes if you get healthy and right type 2. And this I understand a lot of people have like an initial run of it and then stay on maintenance.
Right.
Is that what you've heard?
Well, yeah. But and there's also two. I think there's two different. I think Ozempic is for the diabetes. I don't think they're. I don't think that they're prescribing it anymore specifically for weight loss. It's the other one that's being prescribed.
Wegovy or whatever it is. Yeah.
For weight loss.
I'm not really sure. I don't know. But you guys have medications you're going to take for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
I know I am.
Yeah.
I have Synthroid, I have Nexium, and I will.
My birth control.
I need it. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at some point you're going to go through menopause.
No.
Yeah. So add it to the list if that happens to be.
Just put it in a big. Just take a big, spoon,
a ladle. Yeah.
Yeah. But see, so no, I don't have anything that I will take for the rest of my life because my goal is to not have to do that.
Right.
Like I want to try to fix whatever So like with something like this. I would want to change my lifestyle so that I don't have to stay on it forever.
So that's what she was indicating, and because she bought Weight Watchers, which became W, right? Right. So and then the initial response was, and she had said, I did it the old-fashioned way. That was something she said.
Well, that's it. Yeah, I feel like that you can't say that and then turn around and say, well, never mind, I took the medicine.
Kathy, if they're smart, they fold in a program that includes this as part of the W program.
Yes, well, that would...
And so you do that in concert with changing your lifestyle and eating patterns.
And that would work for her. I mean, she's struggled with her weight her entire life. I mean, we've watched her in the
Remember
public.
famous wheelbarrow where she brought out the wheelbarrow that it was filled with actually fat from that had been shaved off of beef that represented the amount of weight she lost.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
No, I don't remember.
You don't remember that?
Nope.
She brought out a wheelbarrow and it was filled with basically the amount of fat she had lost.
Yeah, she was always up and down.
Yeah, absolutely. So she's admitted it. Yep. Tiffany Haddish has been charged in Los Angeles after being taken into custody on November 24th on suspicion of driving while under the influence. So she was charged with 2 misdemeanors. She's set to be arraigned on December 22nd. She was arrested November 24th after authorities received a call about 5:45 a.m. about a vehicle blocking the road on Beverly Drive. Police said they found her inside the car and cited her on suspicion of driving under the influence. So she's got the arraignment coming up on the 22nd. Listen to this. Sleep is of the utmost importance to Dakota Johnson. The 50 Shades of Grey actor told the Wall Street Journal in a recent interview, sleep is my number one priority. And then when I asked how much sleep she usually gets, Johnson replied, I am not functional if I get less than 10 hours of sleep. She says, I can easily go 14 hours.
Oh, my God. What?
She shared that she also meditates every day, twice a day, and that she will get in a bathtub at any moment, at any time of the day. She said, in the middle of the day, I'm like, oh, God, what is this world? And I'll get in the bathtub. I find water really grounding.
She's sleeping more than she's awake.
How do you have time to do anything,
Thank you.
if you are sleeping and taking that many baths and meditating twice a day?
10 hours?
Dude.
I mean, she's got like a good 4 hours throughout the day where she can do something.
10 hours. When that happens to me, I'm like, I'll go to my wife and I'm like, oh my God, I slept 10 hours less.
And how do you feel when you sleep 10 hours? Do you feel, on the whole, do you feel a little bit more?
Fantastic.
Do you?
After
Yeah.
sleeping 10 hours, absolutely.
If I sleep too long, I feel groggy.
Yeah,
I'm of the same mindset of Preston and Kathy. Like if I've gone sleep deprived, which is pretty much every week, and then I get to sleep in and have a good night's sleep on Friday and a Saturday morning, it to me it gets me through the next week. Like for me, like the Saturday and Sunday sleep-ins help me the next week.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but
what time do you wake up on, say, Saturday?
I mean, it depends on what's going on in life and whatever, but like probably 10:30.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. What time do you go to
you.
What time do you go to bed? Do you go to bed later?
On Fridays and Saturdays, I go. Yeah, it's like closer to midnight or 1 in the morning.
Okay.
Get up around 7:38, something like that. Just naturally kind of roll out of bed. But if I have been wiped out for the week, yeah, I can sleep till like 9 o'clock, something like that.
What about while on vacation? When do you get up?
Yeah, 7:38, something like that. Just kind of naturally, the light will wake me up.
I just shift later and later on vacation, which is unhealthy when returning to work. But like I'll stay up later and later, and then sleep in later and later.
Yeah. So she gets 10 hours of sleep a day.
She's a cat.
Minimum.
She sleeps like a cat.
Insane. Let's see. How about this? Shannon Doherty shared her truth on Instagram yesterday regarding her marriage with her soon-to-be ex-husband, Kurt Iswarienko. The charmed actor said that TMZ was planning to run a story about the pair having an open marriage after she revealed on her podcast that she found out he was cheating on her days before undergoing brain surgery. She said, "Let's be clear, the truth matters. I just received a disturbing phone call that TMZ was going to run a story about me. The story supposedly comes from my husband's friends, my soon-to-be ex, that he told me 2 years ago he was cheating on me and we have had an open marriage." She wrote, "This is an absolute lie and I will address the marriage and affair further on her podcast."
That's an interesting move. So you cheat and then you say, "Oh, didn't I tell you we have an open marriage?"
Right.
Steve, I've heard.
Did you get the email?
I've heard that used as an excuse prior to the cheating.
Right.
The man will say, no, my wife and I have an open marriage. And then the person with whom that man cheats thinks that it's okay because the wife is all right with it. Right. When the whole time that open marriage thing was a lie.
She's going in for brain surgery.
You're right.
Steve, I bring this up because you were a big fan of these TV shows, but a character actor by the name of Camden Toy, best known for playing vampires and demons on Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel, passed away. And I'll give you some of his roles. Maybe you'll remember from them. But he had a 2-year battle with pancreatic cancer. He was 68. He appeared in season 4 Buffy episode called Hush as one of the demonic gentlemen.
Yes, I love this episode, love this series. And these were particularly scary characters.
He played the skin-eating demon named Gnarl in season 7's Same Time, Same Place. He also recurred as a primordial Turok-Han vampire. And on Angel, he played the ancient Nosferatu-like vampire, the Prince of Lies, in the World War II-themed flashbacks of season 5's Why We Fight. He was also a series regular on Goodnight Burbank and played Igor Chambers on the Peacock web series The Bay, and most recently appeared in the movie Average Joe. So he passed away.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, so he had pancreatic cancer, but I know you were a big fan of those shows.
Love Buffy.
George Clooney is going all in on Barbie duo Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling, potentially playing his Ocean's 11 character Danny Ocean's parents in an upcoming prequel film. Speaking with reporters at the Los Angeles premiere of The Boys in the Boat on Monday, Clooney weighed in and said, "Margot Robbie, my mother? I've always thought that. And Ryan Gosling is my father? Well, when you think about it, it makes sense, truly."
So if it's Ocean's 11, will that be his age?
Maybe that'll be it. No, I don't even think he'll be alive at this point. So little is known about the project other than Robbie's production company, Lucky Chap Entertainment, producing the movie, and Austin Powers and Bombshell director Jay Roach is attached to direct. Roach previously revealed that the movie is set in the 1960s in Monte Carlo, and that he's confident that Robbie and Gosling will do the right by the franchise. It has not yet been officially announced if they are playing Danny Ocean's parents or not, but that's kind of the conjecture.
Yeah, I hope they do a good. I in general, save for maybe one of the movies, I enjoyed the series.
Yeah, I didn't. Ocean's 12, I watched like a half hour of, and then I quit and I never finished it. It seemed so off the mark from the first one.
It's a weird misstep. But then 13, I really liked a lot.
Great.
Yeah, with Pacino.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a nice conclusion to those. I never saw the all-female one, though.
I did.
It
was okay.
Yeah.
You know.
I saw
It was a gimmick.
the original one with Sinatra and the Rat Pack.
Yeah.
I didn't really care for that one. I get that it's all these superstars and whatever, but to me, like that, I really liked Ocean's 11 with Clooney as like a heist movie better.
So I love the original, but I saw the original. Did you see this after you saw the Clooney version?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't remember, Steve. I don't know which order I saw them in.
Because the original, Nick, is, as you said, it was that was their gimmick. all of these mega stars of the time. Not that the new series didn't have its stars, but yeah, it was just so much of a time.
And why?
No,
There you go.
He can't get enough of that. All right, so Netflix has confirmed when Millie Bobby Brown's new movie will land on the streaming service. The fantasy adventure called Damsel is now set for release on March 8th after missing its original October 13th release date. They announced the new debut date, sharing a movie poster focusing on Brown's left eye with the caption, "Keep your eye on Millie Bobby Brown."
Oh, and that's her eye.
Damsel premieres March 8th. What's that?
That was her eye in the picture, right?
Yes, correct. In Damsel, she stars as Princess Elodie, opposite a cast that includes Jurassic World's Nick Robinson, Black Panther's Angela Bassett, and Black Widow's Ray Winstone. The film's official synopsis reads, "A dutiful damsel agrees to marry a handsome prince only to find the royal family has recruited her as a sacrifice to repay an ancient debt. Thrown into a cave with a fire-breathing dragon, she must rely on her wits and will to survive." The first trailer landed earlier this week. It shows Brown in a battle with a dragon and wielding a sword and giving a glimpse of the movie's spectacular visuals.
There was a picture you showed up on Instagram. To think that this was this little
That this
girl.
was 11?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. She has blossomed into this stunningly beautiful, talented, well-educated, sweet gal. And she's gonna be a big star.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's just only going to continue to get better for her. The film isn't her only project to be delayed. Season 5 of Stranger Things was held up due to the strikes, and that obviously being over there, set to start filming again in January. And now the cast is all going to look 35 years old.
I mean, how in the hell? Well, they de-aged her for the last season.
Yes.
So I guess they might be employing some of that technology because it's going to be a lot of hard work.
Yeah, I wonder if they might just kind of fast forward the
Right.
timeline of the story so it makes sense, you know what I mean? But I'm not sure how they're going to handle all
What
of
did your
that.
mom pack you for lunch?
Anthony Anderson has been chosen to host the 75th Annual Emmy Awards on January 15th. The award ceremony was originally scheduled to take place September 18th, but that was postponed due to the whole strikes.
I can't get enough of the award shows.
He said in a statement, "With our industry's recent challenges behind us, we can get back to what we love, dressing up and honoring ourselves." And there's no better celebratory moment to bring the creativity community together than the milestone 75th Emmy Awards. When Fox asked me to host this historic telecast, I was over the moon that Taylor Swift was unavailable. And now I can't wait to be part of the biggest night in television.
So here's a loaded question. What do you think is the most superfluous of the award shows?
Oh, God. I was just thinking that I actually liked award shows when there were fewer of them.
Yes.
You know, when they
I
had more
agree.
impact. And, you know, if it was just the Emmys and the Oscars and the Golden Globes, I'd be all about it. But, Steve, like, it's a great question. I don't know. What's the worst of all of them?
It may not be the worst, but I think the most superfluous
Meaningless.
in my mind is
Yeah.
probably the ESPYs. Because
Yeah, that's...
you've already, when you
already
win a
win.
championship,
Yeah.
you've already won.
Yeah, there's already victory involved in
yeah.
sports. There's already awarding of champions and MVPs and,
Right.
and all that
Yeah.
stuff. That kind of makes sense.
The ESPYs, though, highlight some sports that don't have wide appeal. Sometimes a lot
they
of like
suck.
female teams, a lot of
Okay,
female
okay.
teams, or like minor league teams and things like that.
No, true.
Yeah.
Like the days of the MTV
Yeah, but
Movie
that's
Awards.
that's not what draws.
Yeah.
That's not what draws the ESPYs. It's kind of a little
The
bonus
superstars,
something,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, they're all.
It's like you
kinda-
tune in for the Irving Thalberg Award. No.
All right, and then one final thing. Barbie's billion-dollar box office haul has opened the door for more feature film adaptations of iconic plastic ladies, American Girls. The 18-inch dolls that had an absolute chokehold over millennial youth are finally getting their day on the big screen. Mattel Films announced plans to produce the film with Paramount Pictures and Temple Hill Entertainment based on the American Girl dolls.
Do you think they have enough? I mean, in general, this is kind of a stupid thing to say, but do you think American Girl dolls, Kathy and Marissa, have the same sort of personality and backstory of Barbie?
Oh, that was like kind of the whole point
Yeah.
of American Girl
They
dolls.
had
They
big
all have a
backstories.
serious backstory.
I collected only Barbies.
Steve, there is a hilarious SNL sketch
Yeah.
that makes fun of all the American Girl dolls. It might give you a
All
little
right,
taste.
all right.
Yeah, so we
it
had
will-
there were books that came along with them. Like I would read to Caroline the books about the American Girl doll. They all, Steve, they had extensive backstories.
Really?
Oh,
so
yeah.
so would you
Each and
say
every one.
comparable to Barbie?
Way more comparable.
Way more.
Oh,
Okay.
they go through the history of who this girl was and where she's from and what her parents and all that stuff. Each one of those dolls.
All
yeah.
right.
Steve, they are so huge. I mean, just the store alone in New York and the wait time to go there and eat in the cafe and spend time there. My friend is, her daughters are finally out of the American Girl stage. And so she's selling them secondhand. They are, I mean, flying out of her house.
Really?
She is.
What is she getting, if I may ask, on average for these?
I mean, they had everything. They had like houses and horses and luggage and this and that and whatever. I mean, I don't know exactly because we obviously didn't get any of them, so I don't even know what they cost. But I know that she said she just sold something for $175.
Whoa!
So
we have an American Girl doll Vespa. We have a bed. We have like tons of stuff that's left over from when Caroline was collecting those. I don't know where the dolls are. I don't know if we still have those or not.
My only experience with American Girl doll was the accessories like that, the Vespa press. Our elf actually borrowed them from my friend's house and would play around with them in our
the
house.
elf on the shelf?
Yes, the
Who
elf
would play
on the
with
shelf.
the American Girl doll
Yes,
toys.
at our
Well,
house.
he's
He
got a
brought
lot of time to kill.
Right.
So,
How do I look in this?
screenwriter Lindsay Anderson Beer, who penned Pet Cemetery Bloodlines and Netflix's Sierra Burgess, is a loser, is attached to write the screenplay and produce. This is not the first time that Mattel tried to make an American Girl doll movie. It happened back in 2019. They partnered with MGM for a proposed adaptation, and there have been dozens of books and several direct-to-video movies on each girl's historic upbringing. Which, by the way, I watched a couple of those. There was one that was Jane Seymour was in it. She played the grandmother. And there's one called Kitteridge, an American Girl starring Abigail Breslin. Was the only previous movie to have a theatrical release grossing about $17 million in 2008.
Which American Girl did Wendy O. Williams play, Preston?
Nice. All right, we're going to roll the clips. Here we go. Drum roll, please. All right.
Give her a minute.
Wait.
There it is. The new Christmas horror film, There's Something in the Barn, is about an American family who fulfills their dream of moving after inheriting a remote cabin in the mountains of Norway. In this clip, actor Martin Starr discusses the vibe of the movie.
It just feels so like 90s throwback horror movie, like monster movie vibes. It just like takes me back to my childhood. You just don't see a lot of, especially with the direction that, you know, like Marvel can make these movies that look, I don't know. It's just a throwback to what I loved about watching movies when I was a kid and what made me want to be an actor.
Shut up, dummy.
There's Something in the Barn is currently available to rent or buy on Prime.
I think I'm going to like this, actually. We're looking at the trailer. Yeah, it has like sort of vibe.
I like that actor. He's Guilfoyle on Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
He's
and
really good.
Freaks and Geeks?
Yes.
Was he in
And-
that too?
Yes.
He was in
Show.
the Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
and all of those. He's the teacher.
Teacher, yeah.
Yeah. It
By the way,
takes the
Preston,
debate teacher. Yep.
Real quick, beautiful
It's a
sunrise.
beautiful sunrise. Yeah, I was going to bring that up in a second.
Okay.
Here's the next clip. All right, thank you. It's a Wonderful Knife is about a girl who makes a wish that she had never been born and finds herself in a nightmare parallel universe where without her, things could be much worse. In this clip, Joel McHale talks about ad-libbing in this film. Here we go.
And I was very, like, how far could you let me screw around? And hopefully they were character-driven jokes and not just comments. And so I know they put a few of those in, which was really nice.
It's a Wonderful Knife is now available to stream on Prime, by the way.
Yeah, that's on my list too.
All right, and there you go. That's what I have in the bizarre file. And yes, Nick, it is indeed a gorgeous sunrise. We have pinks and blues, a beautiful hue as you begin your drive into work.
Should we go outside and dance to Fifth Dimension songs?
We could do that. The dawning of the age of Aquarius, something like that. That could work out nicely. But we're going to hang out together during this beautiful morning, so stay put. We'll be back in a moment. We'll do some Christmas Miracle invites at some point, and Fortune Feimster is going to be checking in at 2, so stay there. We'll be back shortly. We got a couple of guests that are in our studio.
Yep.
Fresh from our Acme Lounge.
Yeah.
Finally, we're getting to use it.
Yeah, exactly. They have arrived in our studio via the UK, and we actually hung out with them in London. They came by our live broadcast when the Eagles were playing, and we did a few days in London, and they are in town filming for their YouTube series, and they're great people. We love them. Give some love to Joel and Leah, who are here.
Thanks for having us.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Yeah. We're good. We're even happier you've used that music.
Of course.
Very royal.
As soon as it came on, I was like, this is incredible.
Any American show, whenever, and this has been for decades, whenever they go to London or England, there is a stock shot of Big Ben, and that's the music that plays to show the transition. It is almost guaranteed.
They'll show a car going across Tower Bridge, and
and that's it.
The music
every
gets
time.
played.
Oh, I know where we are.
Mhm. Yeah.
And of course, you'll hear like the Paris. You get the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, yeah.
All the stand. Oh, here's where we are.
Yeah, every time. So listen, you guys, when did you get to the States?
Tuesday.
On Tuesday.
Yeah.
And Kate flew into Philadelphia or New York, or where'd you go?
Yeah, Philadelphia. We got detained. That was
Yeah,
fun.
detained.
I told Casey about it. It was, we were terrified. U.S. border control. So scary.
So detained, what did they...
Well, detained might be a bit dramatic, but they took us aside. They took our passports away, took us into secondary questioning.
Oh.
They separated us. They went through all our luggage. They were asking us all these probing
Joel,
questions.
my palms are sweating as we read
I know,
about
same.
it. Like, I'm getting, and we're so innocent. That's
And
the problem.
they don't smile at you, right? Like
No.
there's no like, don't
Yeah.
worry, we're just gonna. It's like you think you're, something.
The thing to do,
Yeah.
and the way to deflect immediately, if you ever get in that situation, is say, we don't have any bombs.
Yeah, I've heard
and then
that.
they'll react. No, it is a weird thing, and I think a lot of people go through. I know I do. I'm always like, I know that I'm completely. There's nothing. It's clean, but
Yeah,
you're
but
like,
you're
you
nervous.
can't help it when they start pointing their attention at you. You're going to start getting nervous.
I know.
Yeah. I
And
was like, Joel, we need to get our story straight. He was like, what story? we just tell the truth.
If you're not familiar with Joel and Leah, they have this YouTube series, and they do a lot of comparisons to American culture and British culture, and that's where they jumped on our radar because they'll do fun things like sampling food. I watched a video this morning of you, Joel, driving in the United States for the first time.
Yeah.
And that was in Orlando,
gosh,
I
it's
think.
playing.
Yeah,
Oh
it
my
was. Yeah.
Listen, when we went to London, after spending a couple days, or in advance, I'm like, I'm wondering if I could be able to drive here or not. And after spending a couple days, actually 5 minutes, I'm like, no, way would I be able to. And London is a major metropolitan area, so being able to drive in, maybe I could pull it off in the country, but in a city, forget it, man.
Really? You think you could do country roads? They are terrifying. They're
Are
so
they?
small and narrow, and you feel like everyone's going to hit you, and it's really scary.
Okay,
know
I'll
what
just
happens?
write off the whole country.
Anytime, so years ago we'd gone over when Guinness was giving away. They used to have a promotion where they give away pubs in Ireland. Like you'd get the
Wow.
pub, you'd get the whole business. And so we went over, and I don't think we even drove then, Preston. I think Marilyn's friend drove around.
Yeah.
Like, I'm always thinking of that story years ago when, remember, Matthew Broderick was over, and he was driving with, I think, Aaron, who was
Yeah.
from
Jennifer
Jennifer Grey.
Grey, yeah.
And they were on the wrong side of the road, and they collided with the family, and it was a horrible story.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, because it's such a you've been driving so long here.
Yeah, you've trained your whole
My fear
life.
is I would just lapse back into the wrong
How
side.
did you like driving on the right side of the road?
It was scary, and I did start driving with 1 foot on each pedal because I drive a manual, so an automatic. And Leah was like, "Why is it so jerky?" And she's like, "Have you got a foot on each pedal?" I was like, "Yeah."
We
so
sound
I
like
forgot.
so intelligent on this show.
But it was easy in the end because your roads are wider. I
Yeah.
feel like, especially in Florida, people don't get angry. There's so much road rage in the UK, and like
gosh, yeah.
in
Is there?
Florida, they were just like, "Nah, you cut me up, it's fine."
It's really funny because Brits are quite polite. Well, we're kind of polite-ish, but then on
Not
the
in a car,
road, we
yeah.
have this alter ego where we feel like we can say anything behind the car.
And there probably is road rage here, but just where we were in Florida,
yeah,
they
there's
were just
No, there
road
is.
rage.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised to hear that there's a lot in England. Everyone does seem. I mean, obviously, you always make these sweeping generalities. Everyone's so pleasant, but you're saying that's out on the road behind the wheel. It's a different story.
Totally different story.
Oh.
yeah.
But you know what? It's probably not scary to you guys because it's just like, oh, you idiot.
Right.
Yeah.
So while you're in the area, how much time are you spending in Philadelphia and filming here?
So yeah, we have 6 days in total.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Which is kind of short, but we're hoping to just do all the touristy stuff, and obviously we're going to try Philly cheesesteak as well. So we haven't
First
done that yet.
time.
First time, yeah. So
A
excited.
Philly cheesesteak, you got to try several of them.
Yeah,
Several.
all of them.
There's, it's you can't. I mean, they're all over the place. And so,
Oh, wow.
But we can point you guys in the right direction if you need some places to go to. Yeah.
When you travel, because when we came over to London, you sort of feel compelled to do the touristy stuff.
Yeah.
But you don't necessarily get a taste of the city or the country when you do that. When you guys travel, do you bang out the touristy stuff and then dive a little deeper, or what's your approach?
It's really funny. Tell them about the love thing.
Well, yeah, so everyone was banging on about the love sculpture here, and I'm like, you need to see it. And then we got there, and it was just like this tiny little love
Yeah,
sign.
right.
We looked at it and we went, no, surely not.
Surely not.
Surely
But we
not.
do try to hit all of the touristy stuff.
Wait, so you didn't like the love statue?
We just
I
went,
thought it'd
no,
be
we've
huge.
not come halfway across the world for that. No, come on.
Like,
Make
it's all
it make
very
sense.
cute. Like, it's nice. Love's great. We love
lovely.
love.
Oh, we
But
love love.
It's just a very small sculpture.
You're right. It's not.
It's unimpressive.
Yeah, it's not like an art masterpiece. As in, wow, how did they make
It's the
that,
word
you
love.
know?
Yeah.
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 It's
But
like
it's a nice positive message. It's,
Yeah. We thought, no wonder they detained us at the airport. They don't believe we're tourists. There's nothing to see.
right. They're just bored. But it's like the Liberty Bell, which whenever somebody comes here, I never say go see the Liberty Bell. It's underwhelming. It's a crack bell. I get it, but there's a lot of stuff down there that And we did a thing years ago about people have lived here all their lives and have not seen it. It's just so you will leave, I'm sure, seeing more than a lot of Philadelphians have seen in your 6 days here.
Okay.
Do you guys do all the planning of what you want to do while you're here, or do you? Yeah, you do it.
So loose planning, don't we? And then most of it's just like make it up as we go along. But we will have a few.
And we get recommendations from our viewers as well. We rely heavily on that because we want to make videos for them. So we're like, well, what do you want to see?
Yeah.
So most of the times it will be all the touristy stuff. And we would like to go off the beaten track, but we don't often have the time to do that.
Well, I think that's the charm, is that you're doing the stuff that everyone says initially would say, I'd like to check that out. So these recon trips where you're going and you come here, and obviously most of what you do is predicated on the differences and similarities. How many times a year, outside of a COVID scenario, would you make the trip to the States?
Yeah, we used to do quite a few, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then COVID just sort of meant that couldn't happen. So,
Maybe
what we're
3
aiming
trips a
for.
year?
At least
Yeah,
3?
3 or 4.
Yeah, 3 or 4. That's cool.
Yeah.
I feel like 6 days, you can get like everything done and then some in 6 days here.
Yeah.
Like, no doubt. I don't even know what you've done so far and what you have planned for today.
So, what have we done so far, Joel? You're the map.
far-
Joel's the map. I'm just the wandering follower.
We went to Reading Terminal Market for
Okay.
breakfast.
Good cause.
Loved
That
it.
was nice.
Well,
And
did
then
you go to Denix? Because there's a one of the shops in there has what has been labeled the greatest sandwich in the United States is
Wow.
at Reading Terminal Market.
Really? Do they just write that on the poster,
Yeah,
or do they actually?
They didn't write it. It was I can't remember which foodie or which but it was like
Yeah.
it wasn't a Philadelphian who said it. It was
Okay.
somebody who has toured the whole country and said this is
That
the
is the
greatest.
best sandwich.
You will bet. I mean, there's a lot of great food here. That's one thing. I mean, Philly, over the course of the time that we've been doing the show, has become a real foodie city.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of great stuff to check out. And as Preston was right, you can't do one cheesesteak. You're going to have to do a
Okay.
couple.
Okay.
Yeah,
You know?
well,
That's fine with
That's
us.
interesting. Yeah, I can see the title now of that video. We tried the best sandwich in America.
Yes,
That'd be
right.
quite good,
That'd be
isn't it?
good. We also talking about soft pretzels. Apparently, that's a
Apparently
Philly
that's a thing.
Someone
It
said
is.
tomato pie. And then I
Yes.
told that to someone, and they were like, "What is
Yes.
that?"
That's
Is
what we
that-
call
what
it
is
too.
that?
Tomato pie.
Tomatoes.
Tomato
Tomato.
pie.
Tomato pie. Yeah. So yes, it's kind of like pizza.
Okay.
But
Without the cheese.
Without the cheese,
Oh, and
and
it's
it's
cold.
usually
It's
served
cold.
cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
and
really
it has a
nothing like
sweetness
pizza.
to it too.
It's sweet.
It's
You're
yeah.
sweet.
really
Yeah.
selling it, guys.
Yeah, it's unique and it's good, but
Corporalese.
Corporate- you have to
We
go
gotta
to
send you to
Corporalese.
Corporalese to get there.
Okay.
They're our favorite tomato pie for sure.
And the sweetness, I think, is what will surprise you. Is that it definitely has that taste to it. And it took a while for me to acclimate to it. You probably also have to do crab fries, right?
Ooh.
Yeah, chickens and Pete's.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
those
crab
are
fries.
good, too.
Why didn't you call us? We will give you a whole list.
There's
Listen,
so much food
I
choice,
put
yeah.
I put Leah in touch with Marissa. I said she is Philadelphia, like
Right.
and anything and everything that you need to know. And actually, because you're Greek as well.
Yeah.
One of her best friends owns a Greek restaurant, and it's what's it called? Hopa.
Opera.
Yeah.
Opera.
Yeah.
I love
and
that.
so she owns a nice restaurant in the city of Philadelphia. But like,
That's
if you
awesome.
really needed to consult anybody about anything you needed to see and do in the city, Marissa's your person.
Is there a Sixers game while they're here?
There's a Sixers. Yeah, and LeBron James is in town.
Is
LeBron
that,
James.
wow, you're joking.
Yeah.
Wow, I thought I pretended to be a fangirl then, but that's quite impressive. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that at the Wells Fargo?
Yeah. Look at you.
Yeah.
Well, I did do a little bit of research.
Where are you guys staying in the city, downtown?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So we won't say where.
No,
exactly.
exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
Last time we said where we were in a
Oh my
hotel,
gosh.
we just got so much food sent to the hotel, so maybe we
my
should
gosh.
say it.
Honestly,
We got
they kept
Cuban
calling
sandwiches,
us.
we got cheese, deliveries of just cheese, because we said on a live stream how we
We
wanted
said we were hungry.
cheese.
They
and
started
then-
sending food.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
so
amazing.
Bruno Brothers.
That's very cool that your viewers are that
Yeah.
nice and that look
Amazing.
out
Oh,
for
they
you.
are, yeah.
We
And-
got to send them to Italian Market. Take a
Yes.
look at that down that way because you mentioned cheese. De Bruno Bros is down there, right?
Yeah, DeBruno's actually all over the place.
Are you
Yeah.
guys
You know-
museum people?
Nah.
We've got a cool one. We've
There's
got
one
a
called
super cool
The
one.
Muter Museum. It's,
Yeah.
it's written like mutter, but it's pronounced Muter Museum, and it's oddities, and it's weird like medical
Medical.
anomalies and stuff like that. And it's a really cool building on top of it. So if you want to go see some weird, gross stuff,
Yeah.
Philly's your place.
They have
like
like a
that.
gigantic colon.
Yeah.
I mean,
As a
literally,
matter of
like,
fact-
like I mean, the
Okay, wow.
weird. They have the skeleton of what was the one time the tallest man in the world? Yes, right.
Yeah, I was
sure.
at the Casey Musgraves concert last night at
Oh,
the
wow.
Wells
Yeah,
at
I
the
saw
Wells
she was
Fargo
on.
Center, and she has been in town for the last couple of days. She went to the Muter Museum.
Oh,
and
that's awesome.
Mm.
Yeah.
If it's good enough for Casey, it's good enough
Of
for us.
course, yeah.
Yes.
We were reading all about her in Nashville at that country music museum, weren't we?
Yeah, we did.
So I say we don't like museums, we actually do.
Yeah, it depends. Just not modern art. I don't like modern art
know.
museums.
All right, we will.
We'll steer you that way. Well, I see that our callers are getting on the line, and I think I want to take this out for a spin because one of the things that always surprises us here is when we'll be watching a show, a movie, something like that, and you get to know a character, even sometimes over a few seasons, and then we'll hear an interview with them, and it turns out this person who we thought was from America is a Brit, and they have mastered the accent. And in fact, Kate Winslet,
Yeah.
a show called Mayor of Easttown, which took place in this area, had to master not only just the American accent, but specifically, she took it from where Casey is from, Delaware County. We call it Delco.
Yeah.
So it's got a very specific accent, and she said it was the most difficult accent she ever tried to master, and she nailed it. She nailed it spot on.
I mean, she's
Amazing.
winning awards right and left for it. Yeah.
That's incredible.
So we wanted to do a game with you guys called Brit or Not a Brit.
Ooh, fun.
Gosh, okay.
We have a series of callers
Okay.
that are going to speak. We've given them something to say.
Oh, gosh.
Some of them are British and some of them are American, but they're all going to be attempting a British accent.
Okay.
Or just
You
talking.
have to determine whether they are legitimately British or not.
100%
Okay.
Joel's going to be really good at this.
Oh yeah.
I'll
think,
try.
Yeah.
I did a degree in
Particularly-
linguistics,
Yeah.
so
Well, there you go. That's
I love
good.
accents, but I say that I probably, I'll be terrible.
Okay.
Well, the funny
we'll
thing
find
is
out.
that as you know, because as you know, you're obviously spent a lot of time in the States. Obviously, there are different dialects throughout the United States. For England, for the size that it is, there are a tremendous amount of different dialects.
Yeah,
It's pretty wild.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Do you have a particular accent? If someone would somebody be able to pick out what region you're from?
I think they would say generic sort of.
WMMR.
Thank you very much, Kathy. I think we should do a segment now that is entitled
The Stream of Consciousnessner.
Oh, this is the old Stream of Consciousnessner music. I've forgotten that we had two different ones, and Casey.
It's kind of
normally-
nostalgic.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. All right, stories that are at random because.
My mind is a raging torrent, flooded with rivulets of thought, cascading into a waterfall of creative alternatives.
All right, so we're going to start with this. We need to find that other music. I like that, but the other one's better. The
Yeah, just trippy and,
Yeah,
and
it's a-
kind of ethereal.
All right, I saw this article and did not know that this product existed. Kathy, neck cream.
Neck cream.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you familiar with neck cream?
I mean, I use moisturizer on my neck, but I don't have something specific for it.
I did not know that the neck was so important to ladies. Sorry about that. But if your skincare stops at your jaw, you're doing it wrong,
So-
according to this article.
You know how I know this is? Yes, is exactly what I thought it was. If you follow Sid Wilder You know, she's a friend of the show.
Comedian,
yep. Yeah.
She goes to a guy who is super popular.
He's a neck guy?
He is the neck doctor.
Wow.
What?
And this is what he does.
All right.
He tightens and gets rid of the gobbler and all that other stuff and wrinkles and all of that. But all he does, Kathy, is the neck.
I mean, listen, so as far as neck moisturizer goes, there's like ways to apply it and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got this info here. And by the way, just south of your face, according to this article, your delicate neck and décolleté
The turkey neck?
lie just as exposed to, or maybe it's décolleté, I'm not sure, exposed to UV rays, pollution, and other external aggressors that ultimately have an aging effect on the skin. And I had to look up décolleté or décolleté and find out what the hell that means. That's as you get down here.
Oh.
A little bit more.
Above the knockers.
Below the neck. And,
That would be the chest.
This area. Yeah, but it's between the chest and the neck.
Okay.
That's your décolleté.
Okay.
It's
or
the
décolleté.
nest.
Like where your collarbone is?
I guess so. Yeah.
So it's an indicator of age.
That
right?
is it.
Yeah.
Right,
So because the skin in these areas is thinner than that of the face,
Don't I know it?
they're even more prone to dryness, pigmentation, wrinkles, and more. And to defend against common concerns like tech neck lines,
Tech neck.
turkey neck, and sagging jawline, they have the best neck creams that actually work in this particular article.
Do you know what tech neck is? It's from holding your head down.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, that's
constantly-
what tech neck is?
Yeah. That's tech neck.
Dr. Loretta Seraldo says our necks show our age before most of the face, with the exception of our thin eye skin, which is often the first to show visible unwanted aging changes. Maintaining a skincare routine for your neck is pretty straightforward and requires only 1 or 2 products. And you should be set with a nourishing neck cream to use twice a day, once in the morning, once at night, plus an SPF for daytime. What's your regimen, Kathy?
I do exactly that. I do morning.
Morning and
I do.
night?
Evening or whenever if I shower, like after the gym, I'll always moisturize after a shower because it'll get dried out.
So do you have products that have glycerin, peptides, and botanical antioxidants?
Oh, I don't know about that. I use stuff with not a lot of ingredients in it.
Oh, okay. Glycerin is great for all-day moisture, while peptides assist with filling fine lines and wrinkles, which manifest as tech neck, and antioxidants support collagen, therefore tackling the tightening and toning of the area. Other dermatologist-approved ingredients that help maintain a youthful-looking neck include niacinamide, hyaluronic acid, and retinoids.
Eva Longoria is always going off about hyaluronic acid.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in her commercials. It's very, very important.
So, Kathy, if it has multiple syllables, you don't want to have anything to do with it.
So sometimes I do have ones like from a dermatologist that I will use not every day, like that'll have retinol in it or stuff to kind of like smooth out your skin, but like my everyday lotions I try because me, I'm allergic to everything, so I try to
You'll
not
explode
have
into flames with all the crap you're allergic to.
yeah, it's like all fragrance free, doesn't have anything in it.
I always had an old look. My neck always. I always thought I had an old looking neck. Like, I like even when I was in high school, I had like wrinkles and
No kidding.
Yeah, maybe what was it Benjamin Button?
Yeah, you're reversing
Maybe
aging
I'll be.
in reverse.
I'm bald. My head looks like a baby. Maybe I'll turn into a baby by the time I die.
I just had my first face laser done.
What?
Yeah.
Face laser.
The doctor, I think she thought I was nuts. I was like right as she was about to start, I was like, I can't do it. I have to go. She was like, what do you mean? I was like, I can't do this.
I don't understand. Did you literally bolt up from the place and leave?
I held her hand and was like, wait. I pushed her back, and I had these goggles on where you couldn't see a damn thing.
I'd love
So I
to
didn't
see
know
that.
what was going on. I'm like, you have to alert me. She was like, oh, okay, I will.
You're using your face laser on me. Help!
Kathy,
You were there voluntarily,
I
right?
was. I made the
I know.
appointment, Nick.
Okay.
Ma'am, correct me if I'm wrong, but you came in here.
for a real hard ass, you're such a pussy. You know what I mean?
Wait, and she got a little bit of a heads up. So a friend of mine also goes there, and she was like, "Oh boy," she's like, "Well, good luck with that one." So she had a little bit of a heads up that I was a baby, and so they put numbing cream on me, and she goes, "We're gonna let that sit like a little bit longer than I normally do," and I was like, "Okay." It was
Why
not.
don't you drink this bottle of wine?
It was not that bad. Once she started, I was okay. But the whole like beginning of it, I was like, oh no, hold on, wait. I can't do it.
What is the desired result?
So I have like
a beard.
Well, actually, you could smell the peach fuzz burning.
Okay.
I was like, what does that smell? Is that normal? She was like, yes, it's the peach fuzz on your face. It's okay.
It's the hair burning off of your face.
Jesus Christ.
Steve, I have some like dark like sun marks. And so supposedly I think you go like 2 or 3 times and hopefully it will
gone permanently?
Well, hopefully. We'll see. I just did the first one on Tuesday. So
because there's a large scar on this side.
No, stop. But I had like dark marks that I didn't even realize I had because after you're finished, you're a little bit pink in those areas. And I had some like on my forehead, my little teeny forehead that I didn't know about.
A very dainty, small forehead.
But you know, I think it was a pretty light treatment as far as lasers go because I was, you know, a little bit red flush for the rest of the day, but there was no pain afterwards, and I was fine the next day.
If you're happy with the results.
Yeah,
why not get a face laser?
I'll keep you posted.
By the way, people are correcting me in my pronunciation. It's a décolleté.
Décolleté
is how you pronounce that area. It's your neckline. So as it comes down, like if you were wearing a lower cut, it's not cleavage, but on the décolleté.
It's that aging, rotting skin.
So by the way, skincare experts share their top recommendations for neck creams. You ready for this?
Let them go.
All right, you can get the Revision Skincare Nectifirm Advanced. And it only is $154.
Oh my God. Probably for like 3 ounces.
$54.
I know.
I'll just rub Crisco on my neck.
The Strivectin TL Advanced Tightening Neck Cream Plus is $59. More affordable
there. It's a third of the price.
The Revision Skincare Nectifirm is $106.
Oh, I have the Revision under eye cream.
Under eye cream.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm looking at the site now.
When are you going to start using it?
Jerk.
They're also suggesting the number 7 Restore and Renew Face and Neck Multi-Action Fragrance-Free Day Cream with SPF 30. That's only $25. I guess the longer the name, the less the money you pay.
Yeah.
Because you also have the Rock Multi-Correction 5-in-1 Chest, Neck, and Face Moisturizer Cream with SPF 30. That's $26.
That's what I use.
So those are your top 5, Rock.
She got the rocky eyes.
In case you're interested. So
I don't get rid of this eye.
I was not familiar with neck-specific creams, and I found that interesting.
Do you guys do you put moisturizer on your face?
No, I just use my hands.
You what?
Just my hands.
And do you
sunblock?
Like like now, like not in the summertime.
Yeah, in the winter too. Yeah, but it's a special. It has a moisturizer in it as well.
Okay, so you're using a moisturizer with an SPF
but the basic deal is me with the vitiligo and everything, and I have to make sure I'm
protected.
When
Nick,
I go out.
do you?
Just like Preston, just my hands.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that I should.
Weird.
Like just that.
It's anti-aging for men too. I mean, just because you're a woman, it shouldn't
I know, but
be.
I don't. The anti-aging thing, I just don't.
Well, it's not, but part of just keeping your face moisturized is going to help you with.
My face never feels dry. You know what I mean? I never.
It's your hands.
It's my hands. Like I'm using my hands, and when I pick things up, they feel dry because I can't grip onto something. But no, shaving cream's the only thing I ever put on my face, and soap. That's it.
That is weird that you are if you never put anything on that you're not dry at all because you don't look dry.
Okay.
Hey, you ever get a face massage when you go to Hand and Stone?
Yes.
I have a few times, and
it's nice.
It's really nice, and Steve, like they kind of massage your sinuses a little bit.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I've had it done. I forget where I had it done, but the woman actually said, she had me under that big magnifying glass. She said, "You actually have very good skin." I'm like, really?
All right. Well,
you guys should get hydrofacials. They show you afterwards in like a little cup all of the like dirt that they pulled out of your pores.
I can't believe you like all that stuff.
Yeah, it gets it all
that
clean.
stuff would be disgusting.
Oh no,
she's happy
no.
because it's cleaning her face.
No, the hydrofacial doesn't hurt at all. It's actually it's like almost like a face massage.
Okay.
It's like this little like suction that kind of filters water through the pores and pulls it out. It doesn't hurt at all.
So did they show you all the dirt they pulled out of your face?
So yeah, but mine was actually not that dirty. They were like, "Wow, this isn't so bad." I was like, "Oh."
I thought you were talking about the blackhead squeezing.
No.
Oh, I love that. When I get a facial, I'm like, just go crazy. Take it all out.
You're a pimple popping fan, so that's right up your alley.
Yeah, I had that done once at Joseph Anthony. I didn't care for it. It was like too much to like poking and prodding in my face. But Kathy, for the stuff that you're talking about, like, do you have to go to a salon to have that done, or can they maybe do it here?
Oh,
Can they do it at Guppy's?
Well, no, they have it at Redstone at lunchtime. No, Nick, it is a machine, so I don't know. I guess maybe they could bring it here. I'm not sure, but they have the hydrofacials you can find them everywhere.
Gotcha.
All right. Stream of Consciousnessner. We're going somewhere else.
That's not it either, but it's called Stream of Consciousnessner.
All right.
That's the Rolling Stones. Start Me Up.
At number 7,
that?
the Rolling Stones.
Okay.
With Start Me Up.
We'll just use this 'cause we don't have the old one. All right. So these are stories that are not related in any way, shape, or form, but I found them kind of interesting. So achieving the American dream comes with a hefty price tag. That price tag is apparently $3.4 million over a lifetime, as reported by financial site Investopedia.
To achieve what most people would consider the American dream.
That is correct.
Which would be a house, right? Well, what constitutes by their list?
It includes expenses associated with marriage, retirement savings, home ownership, and raising 2 children to the age of 18. However, median lifetime earnings for the typical U.S. worker is about $1.7 million, so we come up quite short of that.
Where this list also comes up short is they don't include a hovercraft.
It highlights the financial challenges many families face. Have you ever been on a hovercraft?
Yes.
I
It's
have not.
awesome.
Yeah?
It's all Preston, it's like you're floating on air.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Was it a smaller one?
It was a smaller one.
Okay.
Actually,
They make really big, gigantic ones.
My neighbor used to have what they call an amphicat, I guess it was. And then he had a small, little, like, 2-person hovercraft.
Right, yeah.
This guy was crazy, by the way.
I've seen the individual ones. You can make makeshift hovercrafts with a leaf blower.
Yes, I've seen them.
Which is kind of fun. You can just kind of, glide around on it, which is pretty weird.
This, not to go off on a tangent, but this guy moved into the neighborhood, and it was clear, like we were like, middle class, mid-level, middle class neighborhood, and this guy he has his house built, Preston, and it's like this ridiculously big house in the neighborhood, and he's got clearly a trophy wife, and everyone's starting to go. I remember as a kid going, I bet this guy's on the run from the law or something.
Yeah.
And he had all these toys that he was always running around the neighborhood. And so he had all this weird stuff. And wouldn't you know, lo and behold, there was one night we woke up, hear a lot of noise, wake up the next morning, the house is empty.
Really?
They just left. They were obviously evading somebody.
Oh, well, they were living the American dream.
They had a hovercraft.
So according to CBS News, rising costs for childcare, college tuition, and home ownership contribute to these pressures. And another analysis indicates that funding the American dream costs around $130,000 annually for a family of 4, surpassing the median household income of about $75,000. The study emphasizes the financial strain on single earner households compared to those with 2 working adults.
So the dream, obviously, is that every member of the family can get face laser treatment?
Yes, of course. I mean, who wouldn't want that? The ones who have a high tolerance, pain tolerance.
Yeah, and it says if your child has an inordinately large head.
Yeah. So, all right, that's the American dream. $3.4 million if you can afford it.
The Stream of Consciousnessner.
All right. On to something, Steve, you can definitely associate with. This is a study on cats.
Yes.
More scientific evidence has surfaced to show that while Mittens may be your sweet little angel, letting her roam outside is also a bit of a threat to biodiversity. Scientists reviewed more than 100 years worth of scientific studies to gain a better understanding of which animals free-ranging cats will prey upon or scavenge. And the resulting paper published in Nature Communications found that free-ranging cats, including domestic and feral, will eat 2,084 different species of birds, mammals, reptiles, amphibians, and insects. There were even cows on that list.
The cats would eat a cow?
Though they were probably the result of scavenging rather than hunting.
Right. I've seen my cat take down a cow. Yeah. No,
They'll eat anything.
There's one cat that we allow out, and that was at the vet's suggestion, because when we moved into now we've been in this house for 8 years. She started spraying by the back door, so she's unfamiliar with the territory, and there were other cats in the area. She goes out and she stays literally in our yard, never leaves the yard, and then comes back. She actually, Preston, goes out and comes back in to go to the bathroom. She's outside,
right?
And
seriously?
she comes back in to use the cat box. But she doesn't stay out all the time. But yeah, that's the only, but yeah, what she'll do when she goes out, Preston, she doesn't do it as much anymore, like in the spring. There's been my fair share of coming out and seeing a bird that has been picked off by her that's still alive. So I got my box ready. I run over to the Schuylkill the animal center, and bring the bird, and they rehabilitate it. But yeah, they're predatory. That's what they do.
Steve, when was the shift for cats to be more indoors? Because growing up, and I'm 48, like almost all of my cats were outdoor cats.
So
we just let them out.
Yeah, it was our cats as well. And so, but basically, they live longer if they're kept inside.
I got you.
Yeah. So, and that's because they can be prey.
The cat that we have now
can be preyed upon.
Sure. Well, and the cat that we have now, I live near 2 relatively busy roads, and I would be afraid if she wandered out and, she'd get clipped by a car or whatever. But yeah, like growing up, the cats just always wanted. We had cat doors.
Same thing.
And they, in the wintertime, when was the only time you had to change the kitty litter, because outside the rest of the year they go out and poop.
Not me. She got to come in.
Yeah.
Hello. When are you coming out?
Oh, also, we would go away for vacation for like a week and just leave enough dry food for them. Now I got to pay somebody to come into the house 2 times a day. Like, it's ridiculous.
But you love them to death.
So the list of creatures that cats have chowed on includes 340 species of conservation concern, including Newell's shearwater, green sea turtles, the northern bobwhite quail, and the little brown bat. While cute, cats are skilled predators, so much so that they've been documented as a major threat to biodiversity of bird species in North America.
Did you ever see the Netflix special on cats? Showed about like the cat's hunting skills,
So
the
good.
cat's skeleton, its ability to right itself. The classic a cat falling can right itself in midair.
Yeah, lands on its
It's
feet.
amazing.
Steve, I love that one cat that worked in like the brewery.
Yes,
and then
yes.
and they tracked the cat during the day and at night, and they literally it was a mouse cat for that brewery.
Yep.
And but they put a tracker on it, and like the path that it created every night was fascinating.
Goes
to
on
watch.
patrol. Yeah.
They also linked. Cats are linked to the extinction of more than 60 species worldwide.
Wow.
Despite the problem globally, a separate report in 2022 found that cats are either unmanaged or managed using scientifically unsupported and ineffective approaches in many jurisdictions around the world. But those things are killing machines. They are efficient, and they are really good at it.
And they're fun to boop.
They're fun to boop
on the nose. Boop. Yeah.
Boop. All right, stream of consciousness. Oh, we found it! That's the one. Thank you, Marissa. All right, we're going to stick with another animal story, and I found this one very, very interesting. Photos of a very special dolphin inhabiting the waters of Corinth, Greece are surfacing. It is a dolphin born with hook-shaped thumb flippers.
Thumb flippers?
Yes. And was spotted.
Who's the coolest dolphin? This guy.
Spotted twice this summer by researchers with the Pelagos Cetacean Research Institute. So the thumbed dolphin had no problem keeping up with the rest of its pod and was seen swimming, leaping, bow riding, playing with other dolphins as well.
Can you describe what these, do they actually look like thumbs?
No, Steve, it looks like an old can opener or bottle opener. Nick, wouldn't you say that's a good description?
So you can open your beer on this?
That's what the flippers look like.
They are working their way towards opposable thumbs, clearly.
Yeah, well, so this is interesting, and there's a little fact in here I did not know about dolphins. Dolphins are cetaceans, a group of marine mammals that have evolved distinct forelimbs. The bones in a dolphin's fins are arranged into human-like hands encased in a soft tissue flipper.
So they're kind of just...
They're like your hands, but they have tissue.
You're doing jazz hands,
That's
aren't
all
you?
over it. I am doing jazz hands.
There you
right
have
now.
like jazz hands.
Yeah. The fact that this is according to one of the researchers said the fact that this irregularity is found in both flippers of the dolphin and no injuries or skin lesions are present explains why this could not be an illness,
no
but
plastic surgery.
An expression of very rare genes.
So when you look at the skeleton laid out as we're looking at in the studio here, yeah, I mean, you can see there's sort of a hand kind of thing going on in the flippers.
Mm-hmm. Normally, dolphins develop their fingers within the flipper and no cells between and no cells between the fingers die off. To simplify, dolphins have thumbs. They're just concealed by flippers. This unique dolphin found in the Gulf of Corinth is missing some of the fingers, and the tissue would be that would encase them.
So they believe it's an anomaly. Do they believe that this is where evolution will go?
They didn't say that. One of the researchers said it looks like the cells that normally would have formed the equivalent of our index and middle fingers died off in a strange event when the flipper was forming while the calf was still in the womb. It is the thumb and fourth finger that remain resembling a hook. The Gulf of Corinth, by the way, is the only place in the world where striped dolphins live in a semi-enclosed gulf.
Did you see that manatee with mutton chop sideburns?
No. I did not see that, but
pretty wild.
I am intrigued.
Pretty wild.
By the way, these particular dolphins, isolated from larger seas or oceans, join common dolphins and Risso's dolphins to form a permanent mixed species dolphin society, and that society has been under the study by the Institute since 1995. To put this pod in perspective, the genetic distance is like if humans lived in a mixed species society with chimpanzees and gorillas. So the fact that these dolphins congregate and live with these other type of dolphins is an anomaly, unlike any other place in the world.
In the world on that level, where there's multiple variations, like in the dog world, or that. In other words, so there's like a teacup poodle, and then there's a
Newfie.
A Newfie, right?
Yeah.
So imagine if your best friend was 11 times bigger than you know.
Yeah. I don't know why a golden retriever isn't a subspecies of dog, right? Like, why is it the same as a Yorkie or whatever else? Because there's so much variety in size and shape and behavior and all that kind of stuff. Intelligence.
And also so we're talking about cats. As you walk through the room, when I'm walking through the room, I'm basically a skyscraper walking alongside the cat. You know, there's an interesting size dynamic that takes place in the animal world. We're very linear as a species, but the notion of hanging out with a chimp and a gorilla,
like coexisting.
Hey guys,
right? Yeah, they're down at the end of the bar.
Buy that gorilla beer.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, thanks.
I mean, we could get along that way.
Bring it in for the real thing.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. But this dolphin supposedly has what appears to be in the dolphin world thumbs.
Wow.
Which means that it could open doors. A beer bottle and doors and things like that. All right, that's all we're going to have time for in the Stream of Consciousnessner. So hopefully you got something out of it, and I'll have to hit this one more time because it's just my absolute favorite.
My mind is a raging torrent, flooded with rivulets of thought, cascading into a waterfall of creative alternatives.
And with that, we are going to take a quick break and come back with some Beat File stories for you, my friends. So please stay right where you are.
Preston is the UK accent for both of us. Leah's got a slight
Midlands
twang.
Yeah, I'd say I'm Midlands RP.
Yeah, so you're sort of in the middle of the
Yeah.
UK. So yeah, people could place us, but not so specifically. I think.
It's so funny when some of our American viewers are like, Leah, you sound like Adele. I'm like, I really,
Like
I really
Adele.
don't. I
No,
really
she's
don't.
from a completely different area.
But she's a bit sharper, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys have a favorite or least favorite British accent?
I love Welsh. Oh, I love a bit of Welsh. I do. And I heard that Philadelphia's got a Welsh bit of history here.
Well, in fact,
Sure.
yes, where you're at, Balakinwood is it's a Welsh name.
Yeah.
It's spelled B-A-L-A-C-Y-N-Y-D. That's how you spell Balakinwood. So that's clearly a Welsh derivation. So.
When you mock, when you are trying to make like a classic stereotypical goofy British accent, which do you target for? What region do you target?
You'd probably end up being Birmingham, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you like Birmingham.
Yeah.
And Birmingham has been voted as like the ugliest UK accent for years and years, which is so sad because it's a quirky accent.
Yeah, it's nice.
But no, I think
love
we
them
just go
all.
for a posh like us, but
Right.
times 10.
Of course, I'm always doing when we do the royal family. We do
That's how he speaks.
Yes.
Pretty good, Steve.
Right, but I mean, and everything that I do is a very over exaggerated thing because that's how it resonates with people. But I love the subtlety, so we'll see how you guys do with this.
You kind of do a little Cockney thing sometimes.
Yeah,
too, yeah. It goes,
It's funny though. What is amazing, we learned about Cockney, and I was just watching To Sir with Love, again when Sidney Poitier passed away. That Cockney speak, that jumbled
that
word.
ryming.
Yeah.
Can you follow it, or do you need to be from the neighborhood to know what some of that stuff is?
It's almost like speaking in metaphors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things would ping out, wouldn't they? Like
Yeah.
apple and stairs, we know apple and pears mean stairs,
Yes.
things like that. But we can, if someone was actually speaking it, which I don't think I've ever met
It's
anyone.
kind
who
of
speaks
dying
to me
out
in it.
now.
Yeah.
Like parents' generations that are from that area, then it kind of has now dissolved.
I
the
assume when you
Cockney
speak
rhyme
that way and you're calling for an ambulance and they can't figure out where you are, that's why you're dying out. 'Cause
That's
you
it.
can't get medical assistance.
All right, so we are going to play Brit or Not a Brit. All right, and we've got callers on the line, and here's the story. We have given them.
We had to play that.
We've given them lines from movies that are based in Philadelphia to say to you. So if whatever they're saying makes no sense to you at all, don't worry about it. It's from a Philly movie.
Preston,
So,
by happenstance, I watched both Rocky and the second half of Philadelphia last night.
oh, perfect.
Yes, I'm all prepped.
You're up to speed on this. All right, so let's get our first caller on the line. Is this the order that we're going in? Yes.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go to Jen. Jen, good morning.
Morning to you.
All right, Jen, you are going to read a movie line for Joel and Leah, and let's see if we can figure out if you're a Brit or not a Brit. So go ahead, please.
You know what crazy is? Crazy is majority vote. Take Jones, for example. In the 18th century, no such thing. Nada. Nothing. No one ever imagined such a thing. No sane person, anyway. Hey, look at this doctor.
Can't give a straight face.
No, she was good.
Okay, all right. Let's find.
Quite good.
Let's find out officially.
Also
Leah,
tragic.
Leah, what do you think, Brit or not a Brit?
I think not a Brit.
All right, and Joel, Brit or not a Brit?
Not a Brit.
All right, Jen, what are you? Where are you from, Jen? Where are you from, Jen?
I am from Newark, Delaware.
Newark, Delaware. Not a Brit. All right, so somebody keep score, by the way. All
They
right,
knew
I got it.
immediately.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was a bit over the top.
Wasn't bad though.
No, it was decent. She was just it was just a bit augmented.
Right. It's like the way I do it.
What movie was that, by the way?
Yeah,
Do
what
we
movie?
even know?
Do you know what movie those lines were from, Jen? Because I couldn't pick up
Yeah,
on
that was from 12 Monkeys.
Monkeys.
That was pretty hard, actually.
it. Yes. All
No,
right.
you did a good job.
All right. Is Jen good? Are we giving prizes away? Or
Only
what are
if
we
they
doing?
stump them.
Only if they stump
Yeah,
them. Okay.
okay.
All
That's
right.
the way we do it here in the States.
Yeah.
You
Sorry,
gotta really-
Jen.
You got to really do it.
Thanks for playing, though. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. All right. These guys are they're good on one. All right. Let's get our next caller on the line.
Quite a fun game.
And we're going to go to Duke. Good morning, Duke.
Hi.
All right, Duke, could you please give us the line that you're going to be reading for Joel and Leah?
Okay.
Be nice if you had it ready to go.
Give him a minute.
He's doing
Look, it's a name, man. The Italian stallion. The media will eat it up. Now, who discovered America? It's an Italian, right? What would be better than to get it on with one of its descendants?
The actor prepares.
Duke, I want to thank you for rehearsing that all night last night.
I watched that
And
scene
delivering
live
it
last night.
so wonderfully. Okay, so what do you think? Let's go, Joel, Brit or not a Brit?
I think he's a Brit. I think Duke isn't even his name because that's a very American name.
Okay.
I think he's a Brit. That's very good.
And Leah, what do you think?
I think not a Brit.
You think not a Brit? Duke, where are you from?
I'm from Manchester.
Joel got it right.
All right, so apparently Duke owns a barbershop called Blokes in Old City.
No kidding.
Very nice, Duke.
How long have you been in the States, Duke?
10 years.
10 years. Okay.
Wow.
Originally from Manchester. Were you a barber there as well, or is this a whole new
I
life?
was, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Nice.
I was a barber and a musician.
All right, and reading the info that you sent us, what other countries do you get mistaken that you are from?
Oh, I get Irish, Australian, Kiwi, South African, all sorts.
All of them, yeah, I believe it. And that's a common refrain, by the way. People are like, "Are you South African?"
Oh my God!
on.
Yeah. To me, Australian and Kiwi so different, and I don't know.
Oh, you use bloke. You use the word bloke. You must be from Australia.
All right, well, Duke, you did manage to stump Leah, so I think that's good for a prize.
Yeah, we'll hook you up with
All
something.
right, hang on a second, Duke. Thank you very much, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Marissa, do I need to keep him on hold, or will we contact him?
We'll contact him.
We'll contact him. All right,
It was funny because my friend is Helen.
Duke
She's
go.
from Manchester,
Yeah.
and when he was saying a couple of things, I was like, "Oh my God, that's!" And I was with her last night. I was like, "That's exactly how she sounds." So maybe I can pick out a Manchester accent.
All right, let's go with another caller. We have Peter on the line. Good morning, Peter.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. All right, so we have Joel and Leah here. We're playing Brit or Not a Brit. Could you give us the line, please?
I will do. Commodities are agricultural products, like coffee that you had for breakfast, wheat, which is used to make bread, pork bellies, which is used to make bacon, which you might find in a bacon and lettuce and tomato sandwich.
Yeah, definitely a Brit.
Definitely a Brit.
All right, you guys both say Brit?
Brit.
Yeah.
Where?
Yeah.
Where's he
Right.
from?
Well, hang on.
Yeah.
Peter, well, yeah, if you were to narrow it down and you think it's legit, where would you say Peter's from?
I don't think he's from the south.
Can you say
Okay.
a couple more words, please? Just a few more.
Just say a few more words, Peter, if you would.
Well, what sort of words would you like me to say?
Yeah,
All
you
right.
did it.
Okay.
Philadelphia, London.
Should we go?
I think Midlands,
Go
like Leah.
Midlands.
Where are you from, Peter?
Well, that's pretty clever because I was born in a city called Leicester, which is in the Midlands.
Wow.
You got the Midlands. You got the whole
done.
thing.
And how long
But
have
I
you
spent most of my life in London.
All right. And how long have you been in the States?
40 years.
40 years.
Damn.
Good for you, man.
You still sound like that?
Yeah, that is not faded whatsoever.
No.
All right. Well, thank you for playing, Peter. Unfortunately, you didn't stump these guys, but we appreciate you calling in, and thank you for listening to the show.
It's like
Thank you. It was
All
always
right.
fun.
Take care, Peter.
normally an accent would go away. That's why the hilarity of having Scotty on Star Trek had that complete.
Yeah, I had when I was a kid, I had a very thick Southern accent.
Right.
I lived in the South growing up, and my parents speak with a Southern accent, but I shook it along the line.
By the way, that was Ralph Bellamy as Randolph Duke in Trading Places.
Yes, thank you
That's
very
the
much.
lines, yes.
Yep. All right, let's get another caller. We have William on. Hi, William. Good morning.
Morning.
All right, William, we are playing Brit or Not a Brit, and Joel and Leah want to hear your accent, so give us the line, please.
What? Are you kidding? Sundays? I love Sundays. I live for Sundays. The whole family's together. Mum makes brioche. Dad puts the jersey on. We're all watching the game. Yes, it drives me crazy. And yes, I was negative. You didn't even know that I loved it, Nikki, but I did. I just didn't appreciate it or you before.
Okay.
The thing is, he could be a Brit. He could be a performer. He could be performing right now.
Okay, but what do you think if you had to?
My
call
initial instinct was pretend,
I
not
think,
a Brit.
yes, I don't think he's a Brit, but that was a very good attempt.
But when he said brioche, I died.
Yeah.
All right. William, where are you from?
Yeah, that's not even fair. That was spot on.
Oh, he's from Delco.
All right, William, they found you out, but thanks, man. We appreciate it, buddy. All right, we'll see
It's
you.
pretty.
Yeah.
It's funny because all you have to do in many cases is convince people here. And so, the hard part, that's why when you do pass muster, when a Kate Winslet pulls off something as mechanically difficult as a sub-accent, sub-dialect here, it's an amazing thing.
So the way he said yo, he said yeah. That's how you say it in Delaware County, in Delco. Yeah.
But you can so far, you can hear them trying.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Hard.
Like the Brits are just natural. And
That's why like when Meryl Streep pulled off the Polish accent in Sophie's Choice, you'll have dialogue and dialect coaches on set.
Right.
That's how hard it is.
And by the way, you should visit some of the places that are named for English cities. Like you should definitely go to Chester and Camden and Kensington. No?
No,
you won't make
Those
it
are
home.
like the high crime
Really?
areas.
Yeah.
That was
trying to get us killed.
Okay.
That was a movie set in Delco. That was Silver Linings Playbook and Bradley Cooper's character.
Ah, thank
Well
you,
done.
Nick, for the clarification. All right, we have another caller on the line. It is Susan. Good morning, Susan.
Good morning.
Okay, Susan, we have Joel and Leah here determining Brit or not a Brit. Could you please read what we sent to you?
When you were making me, didn't you feel a certain inspiration? Almost like your hands were moved by force not of this world. You made this body so that I could come to life.
Okay.
The accent was good, but the intonation was all off, wasn't it? Do you think,
Yeah,
Joel?
I don't know. I thought that's really hard to tell because I think it could just be that she's reading a quote that made it sound slightly off.
Do you
but
want her to
still
say
really
brioche?
Just say brioche. No.
All right, Joel, we're going to ask you.
No, you know what? I'm going to take a risk. Say she's a Brit.
She's a Brit.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay,
and what do you
let's say
think? Leah?
Brit then.
She says Brit. All right, Susan, where are you from?
I'm from Philly, baby.
I think they really knew.
I think I know. It's just like,
You really knew. That means Susan is a winner. So, Susan, we're going to get in touch with you and set you up with a prize, okay?
Sounds great. Thank you. This is so fun.
All right,
very
thanks
cool.
for playing along.
Very cool.
All right,
You guys
we
know
have-
what movie that was?
Is that Mannequin?
It is Mannequin. Kim Cattrall and Mannequin. You guys ever see Mannequin? There's Kim Cattrall, the actress from Sex and the City. She's a mannequin in a store in Philadelphia. She comes to life, and
It's a true story.
Yeah, it's a true story. Yes, right. It's a documentary, really.
That's why Kim Cattrall looks so plastic now.
oh
Yeah.
gosh, you guys.
All right, let's get our next caller. We have Chris. By the way, we have like a dozen of these to do.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun.
Hi, Chris. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
All right, Chris, we are going to get.
See, they already got a taste.
We're gonna need to have you deliver the line. Could you go for it, please?
Now that we know who you are, I know who I am. I'm not a mistake. It all makes sense. In a comic, you know who you can tell who the arch villain's going to be. He's the exact opposite of the hero. Most of the times, they're friends, like you and me. I should have known way back when. You know why, David? Because of the kids. They called me Mr. Glass.
Mr. Glass. All right. What do you think? Leah, let's go with you.
I was going to say Brit from maybe like the south, maybe somewhere near Essex.
Okay.
Yeah,
what
I
do you
think like
think?
could be a Londoner even.
Be a Londoner.
I think definitely Brit.
Yeah.
Definitely
But
Brit.
then he said glass at the end instead of glass.
Did he?
I was like, wait, what? You've thrown me off the scent.
Sounds then a
I heard
northern
gloss.
Gloss. I heard like
Gloss.
G-L-O-S-S.
Yeah.
Oh, gloss. It was
Yeah.
the word gloss on the script.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
No.
I'd say-
It was the
no,
word
it's
glass,
glass.
but
Oh, right.
to our ears, we heard him say gloss.
Yeah.
Might be,
I
yeah.
think I heard Glass. I think he's definitely a Brit.
I think me too. Yeah.
All right, both of them say a Brit. And Chris, where are you from?
I am a Brit from Hatfield, Hertfordshire.
Yeah, North
Did you get it
London.
right?
Yeah. Well, no, I was wrong, but yeah, London, kind of Londonish.
And where do you call home now, Chris?
Chester County, down in town.
All right, how long have you been in the States?
18 years.
WMMR.
A couple shout outs before we do the B file. This one says, hey, Preston, our family friend, Kristen Bowman, is an avid YouTuber of the show and is a phenomenally talented graphic chartist.
Really?
Yes.
I love that.
And it would make her day if you could send a greasy shard out to her birthday, Thursday, the 14th. Thank you so much. And rage on that is from Tom Dakota. So here you go. You graphic chartist, you. This one says, hey, Preston, love to wish my handsome boyfriend, Jimmy Chestnut, a very happy 58th birthday from Tina Stewart.
That's a cool name.
And she says, I love you. So here's a shard out for you.
Jimmy Chestnut.
And then this one says, please send a shout out to my sister Colleen and brother-in-law Randy Foster. They live in Winslow, Arizona, and met Casey and Jackie when they did their road trip.
Oh, that's so cool.
They will be home for Christmas, and a shout out would be awesome. Thanks. And that's from Jeannie. So here you go. Shout out to you guys. And then I wanted to pass this one along too. It's not really a shout out, but it was a request. It says, hey, I am a volunteer with Spay and Save. My two fosters, Preston and Dan, apologies to Steve, are at City of Paws on Main Street in Manioc. They are great boys and are looking for forever homes. Can you give Preston a shout out? So she says, thank you. And that's from Maria Robb.
There you go.
There's a cat named Preston that needs a home and a cat named Dan as well. And that is through City of Paws on Main Street in Manioc. She sent me a picture. It's a cute cat.
Very nice.
I just want to say hello really quickly to everyone from Milk Boy last night. We had our first pre-party, and it was great. So many people came out. It was all the people who were telling me about. They've been trying to call in. They've been trying to enter online. All they had to do was come out and enter their name, answer a few questions. If you are a Preston and Steve listener, you will get it. But I want to say hi to Tommy and Anna, the Milk Boy crew, and then this really sweet brothers that I met. I forget their names, so I'm not even going to try. I think Desmond and Matt or Mike or something like that. They were on their way to the Mariah Carey concert and came by and won tickets. So all these people, and then I was hearing about everyone's sweaters that they're working on, the Miller Lite Ugly sweaters, the ones they've made in past years. So, guys, it's going to be a lot of fun next Wednesday.
Right. And listen closely because you might have a chance very, very soon to win some passes. All right, we're going to do the Bizarre File, though.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you this morning by Sports and Social. Experience the ultimate football party at Sports and Social in Live Casino and Hotel Philly. You can cheer on the Birds with ticket giveaways and signed merch, halftime contest, Bud Light Towers, free concession snacks, face painting, and more. This is a warning. Do not hold in your sneezes. A man in his late 30s tore a hole in his windpipe.
Whoa.
Trying to stop the physical response, according to Live Science. The man tried to stop a sneeze while he was driving by pinching his nose and mouth.
Yeah.
Shortly after he went to the ER for neck pain, the trachea became perforated due to a rapid buildup of pressure, according to the report.
I know someone who would do that all the time, suppress their sneezes that way.
Yeah, fortunately, the windpipe healed on its own without surgery, which very well could have been needed. Pressure during a sneeze can be 20 times higher than normal, so don't try to do that. A bomb disposal crew was summoned to Hawaii's Daniel K. Inouye International Airport. I know I mispronounced that, I'm sure. Anyway, thank you. International Airport on Friday when security found anti-aircraft ammunition in a passenger's luggage.
It's for Grandma.
The potential security threat was initially flagged, when TSA scanned the luggage with an X-ray.
Again, they don't ever specifically mention anti-aircraft ammo.
The luggage room was immediately evacuated as state sheriffs and bomb squad and the U.S. Air Force's explosive ordnance disposal unit responded. The object in question was a .50 caliber anti-aircraft round stored in a thermos in a checked suitcase.
Jeez.
So not a good idea to take that through with you.
And he had 4 ounces of conditioner.
Authorities have released new information regarding a dangerous police pursuit that took place on Sunday in the Florida Keys. Florida Highway Patrol officers arrested 41-year-old Courtney Epps of Taylor, South Carolina, after chasing her speeding up on US 1. She was observed speeding while going north in the southbound lanes, ignoring troopers as they pursued her with their lights and sirens on. Troopers tracked her speed between 90 and 120 miles per hour. She traveled across a 7-mile bridge. She maintained that speed regardless of oncoming traffic, instead of moving to the southbound lanes while driving around the northbound vehicles. There were 2 attempts to stop her using spike strips. The second one was successful, but she kept driving anyway, traveling at a high rate of speed, eventually approaching hundreds of runners who were participating in a half marathon. The tires on her vehicle began to fall off as she passed the runners, with 2 of the tires damaging 2 vehicles that were there. The vehicle eventually crashed into a construction site, and it was there that Epps was taken into custody. She had extremely constricted pupils and did not respond to verbal or physical stimulation, only stared straight forward in silence. While getting checked out of the hospital, troopers said Epps urinated on herself in the lobby while loudly singing gospel songs.
Okay.
And that she would alternate between sleeping, singing, and talking to herself during treatment.
I'm not a doctor, but it seems like she was on something.
After initially agreeing to field sobriety tests, Epps refused, saying, quote, God the Father told her to stop. She was taken to the jail without any further incident. 2 motorcycle suspects are wanted in connection with snagging a nutcracker from a restaurant in Kent, England. The 2 6-foot nutcrackers.
Oh, my balls!
Guard the UK Nucleus restaurant around the holidays, but one ornament was snagged on Friday around lunchtime. Restaurant owner Aaron Telford is offering a reward for the safe return of Istvan the Nutcracker.
Istvan the Nutcracker.
In preparation for the worst, he has ordered another to stand guard with Roland, who currently stands alone. He said, we have We have the whole event, including images of the motorcycle and the culprits' faces on camera. We really would just like our nutcracker back, he said.
Do you have nutcrackers around the house for the holidays?
Do not.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Couple. I like them. I used to hate them, and now I love them.
Yeah. Do you actually use them to crack nuts?
Never.
Because you can.
Not a one.
Okay.
Yeah.
A San Francisco technology company's former CEO, Christian Lang, was slapped with a bombshell lawsuit accusing him of sadomasochistic style rapes and torture. Oh, my God. Yeah, this is the former CEO of this company. So, and wait till you hear this. His accuser is identified in court documents as Jane Doe. She claims that Lang hired her as his executive assistant at Trade Shift, manipulated her into signing a sex slave contract.
What the hell?
And sent her life down into a dark abyss of sexual horrors. The lawsuit accuses Lang, Trade Shift, and other Trade Shift executives of sex trafficking, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and sexual assault. A spokesperson for the company said that Trade Shift denies the allegations in the claim insofar as they are made against the company. Lang, who co-founded the business, a software tech company, was fired in September for committing, quote, serious allegations of sexual assault and harassment.
Of course.
Lurid and shocking details were described by Jane Doe in a 56-page suit. She said she entered a 24/7 slave relationship with her master. The contract rules included always be sexually available for her master when he needs sex and to never refuse him sex even when not wearing the collar.
Our agent was able to get that out of our contract.
Worship her master and all of his body every morning, to read these rules as her waking ritual to remind the slave of her ownership and submission. Also, to give the master full insight into any aspect of her life, including her phone, computer, finances, and anything else. She will endure any pleasure or pain the master gives her while wearing the collar. At work, the slave will have freedom to use her own name and act independently as long as she remembers that she is her master's property and she is there to please him for no other reason. And finally, she will look pretty and inspiring to her coworkers and dress as feminine as possible, preferably in dresses or skirts.
Okay, I have to ask the question, do they match the 401k?
I don't know if there's an even match on that or not. She claims that when she made complaints to the company's human resources department, she was ignored, isolated, marginalized, and ultimately terminated with no explanation over the phone.
Freaky.
So they believe that he used his power, wealth, and influence to traffic various women around the world by corrosive means to satisfy his perverse, misogynistic, depraved, and sexually violent proclivities. Wow. The lawsuit demands a jury trial in this particular case, but I was not familiar with that story. All right, and there you go. We're going to end there. That is what I have in the bizarre file for you this morning. All right, how about we do this?
Oh, it's a Christmas miracle.
Yes, we have your chance right now, friends, to win a pass to join us for the Christmas Miracle live broadcast.
It's going to be so magical.
Yes, it is.
It's
and
at the theater where the blob was shot. That's all you need to know.
we will take the first three callers right now, 215-263-WMMR, and you will be invited to join us at the Colonial Theater in Phoenixville for this event. And it is a week from, it's less than a week away. It was a week from yesterday, actually. So we would like you to join us, and we're going to start early. Got to be there, around 6 a.m., and you might get called up on stage to participate in some of our contests. It could be some big prizes for you. We'll have to do a rundown of some of the stuff we have to give away. But get on board right now, 215-263-WMMR. Miller Lite helping present this, and they have the Miller Lite Ugly Sweater Contest as well. And it is brought to you by, God, there's so many information sheets and so many different people that I need to thank. Hang on a second.
We got to get the thanks out to all these people. They're so wonderful.
Phoenixville First. That's what I was trying to come up with. Presented by Phoenixville First. All right, so call now. 3 callers. We'll get you on board. We're going to take a break. We'll come back in just a moment. Please stay with us. Wow,
And the fact that they still retain a substantial part of that, it's pretty amazing.
Except for when saying glass.
Yeah.
So that's because he's lived here then.
Yeah.
So that bit's come out.
So we had and we had this guy as a guest on the show a couple times. Louis Knight, he was a contestant on American Idol.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, but he is like the only English person that I have ever heard sing with an English accent.
it's adorable.
Yeah. All right,
Can you do
Chris.
an impression of it?
Chris,
Oh,
thanks
got a
for,
lovely bunch of coconuts.
Chris, thanks for playing, man. We appreciate it.
Hey, thanks.
All right, take care. All right, so you guys are doing pretty good.
I
Pretty
think
good.
they're
You've
doing
only
damn
missed a
good,
couple
yeah.
of them. All right. Let's get another caller on the line. Oh, what movie was that?
Oh,
from?
Unbreakable.
That was
Samuel L.
Unbreakable.
Jackson.
Yes, thank you. I knew it
Mr.
was-
Glass.
I don't know why I couldn't remember the name of the movie, but it's an M. Night Shyamalan classic. All right. We have Steven. Hi, Steven.
Morning.
Morning. All right, Steven, we have a... They're like immediately making their decisions when people say good morning. All right, Steven, do us a favor and read the line we sent you.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place. It'll beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody's going to hit as hard as life, but it ain't how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you got to be willing to take the hit and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you are because of him, her, or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
Right. Did it
Yeah,
start
better
off?
than that.
It started off like Scouse, then it went Scottish. It's like Liverpool, Scottish.
Do you know what? His Scottish accent is better than mine.
Yeah.
So if you're to say Brit or not a Brit, what do you think, Joel?
I'll go not a Brit.
Yeah.
Not a Brit.
No,
All right.
sorry.
Steven, where are you from?
I'm from South Jersey.
But I love that. That's a great quote from Rocky Balboa.
Yeah, he was hitting some of them pretty
doing
solid.
well.
like the word hit, he said het.
Yeah.
Instead with more of an A.
I like
E
that
sound.
he did like a Scottish version rather than going for like our accent.
That was brilliant.
What are you saying, Steven?
I was going for a North England Geordie accent.
Oh, so he knows his
okay.
stuff. That's actually where Stallone is from.
All right, thanks for playing, Steven. Have a good one, man. All right.
Have a good one.
If you're just tuning in, we have Joel and Leah who are here in the States. They do a YouTube series, and they cover American culture, British culture, kind of compare the two, try some things out over here, sample a little bit.
It's wonderful watching, and they're very much likable. So and people love to see the differences.
Yes. And by the way, I saw BuzzFeed has all these great lists that pop up all the time, and there was one that was showing American sections of grocery stores around the world. And so usually there's a small rack of stuff for maybe who's a tourist or somebody who lives that then go get some of their creature comforts as far as food goes. And you know what I noticed on every single one of those photos?
What?
Do you think? What item, if you were to guess?
That is considered expressly American.
Yeah, it was very easy to spot by the packaging. Very bright packaging.
Hmm.
It's a candy. I'll give you that.
Circus peanuts?
No.
Candy.
Circus peanuts.
M&M's.
No.
No?
It's a candy.
Yeah.
Skittles.
No. Reese's peanut butter cups.
Ah.
On every single photo that I saw all around the world. I'm like, okay, yeah,
So
sure.
not circus peanuts.
I'd want them.
Yeah, it's funny because I, my friend Helen hates American candy, and I can't stand British candy. I just and she
I
offered-
like British candy.
Yeah, I can't do it, and they offered because we were all at the same restaurant last Saturday, and she had a big box of British chocolate. I was like, no thanks, that's I'm okay with that. Which is crazy because I love chocolate, but she says that American chocolate tastes like vomit.
Yeah, it really does.
It's been like a test. They've tested it. The compound in American chocolate, I think it's the milk powder that they use, does to British taste like vomit.
That's why Hershey smells like vomit chocolate. It's
We
vile.
just can't eat
Oh my
it.
gosh.
But
So
it's
we-
also why Americans wouldn't like British chocolate.
I do like British chocolate, though. I like
I do
dark
too.
chocolate, though.
Okay.
Oh, you're fancy.
There we go.
All right, we have 4 more to go with Brit or not a Brit. So let's get our next caller on the line. It's Carl. Hey there, Carl.
Morning, it.
All right, morning it to you, sir. All right, Carl, we sent you a movie line. Could you please give it for Joel and Leah?
Sure. Oh. See, I made Lewis a bet here. See, Lewis bet me that we couldn't both get rich and put y'all in the poorhouse at the same time. He didn't think we could do it. I won. Trading Places.
All right, that's from Trading Places, the movie. Okay.
He doesn't actually say in the movie.
Brit or not a Brit? Let's start with you, Leah.
Okay, Brit, maybe from Manchester.
All right.
Junior.
Yeah.
How about
I think
you,
he's
Joel?
being sneaky. He's definitely a Brit.
Yeah.
Northerner.
Okay.
Northern.
Carl, where are you from?
I'm from Harrogate, North Yorkshire.
Okay. All right, they got it. They got it right.
Well, you guys are good.
Did you nail the region? Is that anywhere near?
Well,
No?
yeah,
Well, it is
Yorkshire
north,
is north, but we thought
North is
Mancunian.
very generic.
Yeah.
So,
What
I
is
don't
the
think we just have a point.
TH is an F?
Yeah, that's just
both.
like both. That doesn't belong to any region. That's just like relaxed speech. I
Yeah,
guess.
just a little shortcut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Adele actually does that. I think she'll use
Yeah.
an F instead of the TH.
A lot. She does a lot.
Yeah. And why is Liverpudlian so sing-songy? Like when Steve does his
Yeah.
Paul McCartney, it's really up and down. And
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
I don't know
It's
why.
just-
I
It's
really
got a
like it.
what?
It's got a
Yeah.
But the only thing about Liverpudlian accent I don't like is the K's. So when they say Coke, they'd say Coke.
Chicken and a can
It's
of
like a
Coke.
It's
Really?
not a very nice.
That's almost Hasidic here. Like
Thank you, Carl. Appreciate it, man.
This is my rabbi.
Yeah. How about, speaking of pronunciations, a popular one in slang is bruv.
Ah, bruv.
With a V on the end,
Ted
which is short
Lasso?
for brother, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
suppose so.
Or you
brother,
can say
bruv.
it to anyone.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, bruv.
It's
Or-
like a bro here, like we say, what's
Yeah.
up, bro? You know. So,
Yeah.
but we don't do the V, but that's one I've found that's very, very common.
This is my brother.
Yeah. Has anybody made you aware of John yet?
No.
Yes.
Oh,
John.
okay.
In Urban Outfitters, that man would taught us John.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were asking about John, a person. I'm like, where is this John person?
JAWN.
We learned that. We learned that, yeah.
Doesn't it just mean anything? Like
Yes.
this water
To
bottle,
noun.
like,
Yeah.
oh, this John of water.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
You could literally say this John of John.
This John of John.
Yeah, because the
Wow.
John is the bottle and the John is the water as well. So.
Were you just at an
Wow.
Urban Outfitters store? Were you shopping?
Yeah, we were just having a look around, and then randomly, one of the employees, lovely man, would start just teaching us Philly slang. Lovely.
I don't think they'd ever seen Londoners before.
Yeah.
Because
You
then
know-
we heard him going around going, they're from London.
Oh my god, it was.
They look human.
You know what? I'm going to tell you about this city that you may find surprising because Philadelphia has a reputation for being a bit cold and well, not cold, but rude
Rough, yes.
and tough. But
No.
when I have brought people in from out of town and I'll show them around the city, I kid you not, they can tell. You know, like I remember pointing up at City Hall and mentioning Billy Penn's hat and so on. A person came along wearing I think they were wearing a Rocky shirt. And just started jumping in on the conversation
Right.
and offering up, and they were like, "Oh, you know, there's a little version of the statue on the Comcast building."
Yeah.
I'm like, "I know," and so they just started sharing information. I think you'll be surprised to find out how friendly people actually
They are. They really
here
are.
and want to show you. People are very proud of this city, extremely proud of this city, and will want to offer up, hey, here's some slang for you guys, you know, to kind of help you out around town.
Yeah, I don't think it gets enough limelight, does it?
Yeah.
I don't feel
Well,
that.
we've got some stuff like the love statue, for example.
did you know Urban Outfitters headquarters are in Philadelphia? If you go down South Broad Street in the Navy Yard, that's where their headquarters are. It's a pretty cool place.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That's
All right.
so cool.
3 more for Brit or not a Brit.
Okay.
I have John. Good morning, John.
Is this a John or
This is a John. Not a John. All right, John, are you ready to try this?
Ready to go, Rob.
All right, let's hear it. Here we go.
I was a slap. There will always be a part of me that's dirty and sloppy, but I like that. Just like all the other parts of myself. I can forgive. Can you say the same for yourself? Can you forgive? Are you capable of that?
Oh wow.
Oh, that's pretty solid.
Yeah, that's good.
They're a little confused. Let's see if we can get an actual answer. Leah, what do you think?
I think he's a Brit.
Okay, what do you think, Joel?
Yeah, I think a Brit. From London, I think.
Yeah.
From London.
That accent was definitely like Cockney style East London, wasn't it?
Okay. John, where are you from?
Well, I'm not a slut, but I'm 100% American.
Somebody get
Well
him a
done,
picture.
John.
We have a winner. Nice.
Good.
Says here you're from South Jersey.
I'm from South Jersey, Sewell, New Jersey.
Nice. Where did you pick up this ability to mimic the accent?
Watch a lot of YouTube, Preston.
You watch them? Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, make sure you watch Joel and Leah. You'll love it, man.
Perfect your accent.
Absolutely.
All right, John, we'll be in touch. We'll get you something for your trouble, my friend. All right, we'll go for 2 more.
Also, Silver Linings Playbook. That line, yes, it was Tiffany, yeah.
Thank you. All right, Catherine, are you there?
I am. Morning.
All right, we have 2 Brits here that are going to try and determine whether or not you're faking it. Let's hear you deliver the Philadelphia-centric movie line we sent you for them. Go ahead.
Hey, woman. Hey, woman. Listen here. Since your old man ain't got no heart, maybe you'd like to see a real man. I bet you stay up late every night dreaming you had a real man, don't you? I'll tell you what. Bring your pretty little self over to my apartment tonight, and I'll show you a real man.
Okay.
Do you know that line, Preston?
I don't. What is that?
Rocky 3.
Yeah, it's Clubber Lang.
Oh, man.
Remember when they're standing in front of the Rocky statue? You woman, bring your woman over here. I'll show you what a real man is.
I haven't seen Rocky 3 in so long. Okay, let's go to Joel and see if he can determine Brit or not a Brit.
I thought she was very good, but I think not a Brit. I think California.
California.
California Brit.
Valley girl.
Leah.
I thought it was a very, lovely, eloquent delivery, but I think not a Brit, so I'd be very surprised.
Catherine, where are you from?
Originally from Lancaster.
All right, Lancaster, PA. All right.
Well done.
You didn't get it past him, but thank you very much for helping out. All right, we have.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye. All right, we have one more to go in Brit or not a Brit, and the final person is Robert. Robert, are you there?
Top of the morning it.
All right, top of the morning it to you. All right, Robert, we sent you a movie line from Philadelphia. Go ahead and give it to us, please.
You know where Southpaw comes from. I'll tell you. A long time ago, there was this guy, maybe a couple of 100 years ago. He was fighting around, I think it was around Philadelphia, and his arm, he was left-handed, and his arm was facing toward New Jersey, you see, and that's south. So then naturally they call him Southpaw. You see, Southpaw. South Jersey, South Camden, Southpaw. You know what I mean?
That's from Rocky Balboa.
Yes, yeah.
No, remember
when
that.
they were on the ice
Rocky.
skating rink.
Number
Rocky.
Oh,
one. Not Rocky
yeah.
Balboa. Yeah, he's skating around with Adrian.
That's in the
ice
South
skating
Pole,
rink.
South,
Yeah, right.
South Philadelphia, South America, South, North, a direction, as in directions you might go, one of them being south.
And that's where we got it.
Yeah.
Joel, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Brit. I think he's from Highland.
Oh, poor man. He probably doesn't want to identify as British, does he?
Yeah.
And he's Irish, yeah.
You think he's Irish?
Yeah, I don't want to offend any because Irish.
3 WMMR.
Just a reminder that there's some time left to take advantage of Kathy's holiday activities list.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yes,
there's
there
some stuff some things have come and gone already.
Yeah, a couple of the classes, but there's still, the majority, I try to put things on the list that you can enjoy all season.
Right. And in fact, you had a really cool event. Was it over the weekend?
It was over the weekend.
Yeah.
So I actually had two. So we made wreaths on Sunday with crafts by Bespoke we were in Lansdale, Preston, at the brewery out there.
Oh, yeah.
Well-crafted brewery.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Great drinks. But on Saturday, for the day before that, we did something that was completely new. I make a wreath every year. We made our own ornaments. There was a glass-blown ornament workshop at the Neshaminy Creek Brewing Company. I was at 2 breweries this weekend. Chuck,
Getting hammered.
Chuck and his wife, Leanne, came out. I had a bunch of girlfriends. I had my cousins come out. And then there were tons of listeners that came out to take part in the workshop, but also just to hang at the brewery because they had a Christmas party that day. Santa was there. They had music, and so it was great. But the ornament making was brand new for all of us. We did glass blowing and we made Christmas ornaments. It was so freaking cool. So Leanne from Magic Art Studio ran the class inside the brewery, and I think she was the main reason why I loved it so much. Her energy was incredible. She told me after, because she does it all day long. So she started early afternoon. I think we started right at noon, and it went all the way into the evening. She has different sessions, and people signed up for it. She said at the end of the day, she's so tired, and I could see why. She was like jumping up and down, like when it was time, because it was like very precise times. You had to heat it to like a certain point, and then you had to do the glass blowing right away. And if you didn't,
right,
it either was done, you messed it up, you had to start over, or you had to put it back under the heat. Like it was.
Sure.
She was incredible, and this was probably the most fun this season so far.
Well, we're watching this recap video, and the ornaments look awesome.
They were so cool. You got to pick your own color. You created your own ornament.
So Chuck did it, and Chuck says, "Yes, I made an ornament with my mouth."
Yes,
essentially is what he did.
He did.
And I think Leanne burned her hand or something like that.
There was one injury the entire
This is
day.
his wife, Leanne.
And that was Leanne. And do you want to? So you have this torch here that you're heating the glass with. Yeah. That is not what she burned herself on. She burnt herself with the lighter to light the torch because she held the lighter the wrong way and blew the flame up her sleeve instead of towards the towards the torch. Everyone was like,
How does that happen? Yeah, you want to get it on the acetylene torch before. That's a cool story.
Yeah, but she was okay, and we did really enjoy ourselves.
It looks very cool.
It was awesome.
And by the way, when you're blowing through the straw, or whatever you're using, you got to have some lung power because you're inflating molten glass.
So all of us, our first ornament was very small because we didn't realize how much power you needed to put into it. Like you kind of just think, okay, almost like a balloon. No, like she was like, you need to take a deep breath. You're gonna, make sure you get enough air in there. And there were like a couple of smokers that were there, and all their ornaments were small.
Like they didn't have the lung power.
Yeah.
Man, it's like those, the balloon animal makers. Those balloons they use.
Yep.
If you try to blow one of those things, you'll have an aneurysm.
Well, and the way they do it, like, right out, it's like, holy hell.
It's nothing to them.
Do you remember the bodybuilder Franco Colombo, who was, Schwarzenegger's friend for years, small little Italian guy?
No.
He used to do a thing, Preston, where he'd take a hot water bottle and blow it up and make it explode.
Yeah, that's a strongman trick.
Strongman trick. It's crazy.
Wow. By the way, here's a text that says, my daughter and I went to the ornament making workshop, and it was awesome. I saw Kathy there, and I wanted to get a picture, but I was too nervous.
Damn it.
We took lots of pictures, and the Santa was awesome. We took a lot of pictures with Santa, too.
Nice. All right, so that's cool, but it sold out like in seconds.
Yeah, so that one actually, her class, she does this all season long, and they actually added classes for Christmas Eve. If anybody wants to go out, I checked yesterday, and there were still a few spots open. So if you are not too busy on Christmas Eve, you want to try it, you can see if there's some spots open. And then I'm just looking at my list now on PrestonandSteve.com. There's still a ton of things on here to do for the rest of the season, so make sure you check it out.
Are you doing the railroad tonight?
Yes,
I will be. Colebrookdale Railroad,
Yes.
which is the Polar Express, and you mentioned a number of them that are available out there as well in your list, so take advantage of it.
All right.
Don't let the time slip away.
And the Kathy holiday activities list is still up on WMMR.com. You can go take a look at that.
It was voted the most important thing ever achieved by mankind, Preston.
Yeah.
Recent list. Yeah.
Congratulations on that, Kathy.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I have a list. It's different. It's not the greatest thing of mankind, but I found it quite interesting. This is from a gentleman named Dan Butner, or Butner, I'm not sure, but he is a longevity guru.
Longevity guru, not like the
Yes.
neck doctor, is he?
No, he's not like the neck doctor. He's an author and National Geographic fellow.
Oh,
and has
what a fine
made
fellow.
a career out of studying the world's longest living people.
Oh.
Coining the terms blue zones to describe 5 regions across the world where people live to a ripe old age. And are you guys familiar with the blue zones?
I usually associate that with where the red light district is.
Oh, no, it's not that. So Sardinia, Italy.
Right.
Icaria, Greece. Icaria, I'm probably pronouncing that incorrect. Nicoya, Costa Rica.
Oh, I've been there.
Have you?
Yeah.
It's one of the blue zones. It's
Wow.
where people live longer than others. Then you have Loma Linda, California.
Oh, wow.
Any idea where Loma Linda is? It's got to be Northern California, I would think. And Okinawa, Japan.
So, and he looked for common threads,
Yes.
things they were doing or their lifestyles or what led to their longevity.
He said that many of them do 8 simple things that lift their mood daily and keep them smiling long term. So these are, in a sense, even though they're living longer, he turned this to focus on habits of the world's happiest people.
So do you remember the commercials years ago about I think it was Dan and Yogurt, and they went to Soviet Georgia at the time. The Soviet Union was in effect, and they were all eating yogurt, and yogurt led to their longevity. They had a whole bunch of older citizens living in Soviet Georgia. And then at Preston, they went and interviewed one of these women who was very old, and she's there, and they asked her, what was it like being old, and her response basically was, every day is misery. So not the best commercial for your yogurt.
No, I mean, listen, hey, getting old is not fun.
No.
It's both of my parents have told me that, and I'm sure many other people. It's wonderful to live a long, full life, but at some point, it can become difficult.
Quality of life.
Yeah. By the way, Loma Linda, it looks like, is in Central California, Nick?
No, right near San Bernardino. So
Okay.
not too far from LA.
Oh, okay. All right. So
That's kind of wild that would be a location for the place where people live longer.
Yeah, I thought it would have been northern. All right. Well, anyhow, here are some of the things to make you feel better and supposedly live a happier life. Number 1, sleep at least 8 hours.
Yeah, right.
When it comes to health and well-being, sleep seems to be at the core of it, and happiness is no different. The happiest people sleep between 8 and 9.5 hours a day.
I'm happy because I'm delirious.
If you're sleeping 6 hours, you're about 30% less happy. Experts at Harvard Medical School echoed this, saying that sleep and mood are closely connected. Man, I wish I could just bring myself to go to bed earlier. We get up insanely early, and I know that if I go to bed by 8:30, I'm going to be feeling better regularly, but I just can't.
What time do you go to bed?
That early? Around 9-ish. If I could get to bed at 8, that'd be even better. But I go up to bed and shut everything down by around 9. And I need to get more sleep.
And that's pretty good, too. Like, especially now, this holiday season, I've pushed it to 10, and it's just, I'm so tired. I can't.
So you're 9 as well?
I try. Yes. If I'm sleeping by 9, I'm usually good the next day.
Okay.
I can get up but I just recently read something that said that sleep also has a lot to do with, and people don't think about this, but weight loss. And that if you're not well rested, you're less likely to lose the weight that you want than if you are rested and making sure you get the right amount of sleep.
Especially if you sleep on a treadmill.
I was sick last week. Preston was sick at the end of last week. Casey's sick now, and a lot of it has to do, in my mind, with lack of sleep, lack of healthy living. And when I am sleeping properly, I am in a better mood. I feel like everything in my life is better. And our job sort of precludes that from happening most of the time. Last night I went to bed pretty early. I went to bed like 8:30 last night.
Is that so 9 o'clock usual?
Steve, I did something this morning that I hardly ever do, which is get up and shower. And I was able to do that. I usually shower at night,
right.
But I was able to do it because I went to bed at an earlier hour last night. And I was like, hey, I'm awake. I'm going to shower. So I sleep really is important. It's the second time we've talked about it this morning. We talked about Dakota Johnson earlier.
Yeah, sleeping 10 hours.
10 hours. That
14 hours.
That seems a little excessive to me. But when I average 8 or 9, if it's a few days in a row, I automatically know my life is better.
Yeah.
So I'm 9 and I go to bed around 10:30, 11. So
You're
I go up to bed at 9. Yeah, and then of course I furiously pleasure myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
It takes a couple hours.
Yeah, it takes a couple hours because I have 2 hands, man.
Okay. Number 2 on this list is eat a plant-based breakfast.
Well,
so starting the day right can have wide-reaching effects. Dan advises you begin your morning with a plant-based breakfast. That means staying away from meat and dairy products.
Like an asparagus Pop-Tart.
And also suggested you stay away from overly sweet and fatty foods in the morning. No, my breakfast is a banana.
Yeah.
I have that every morning. So I guess I have
You're doing it, man.
Plant-based breakfast.
You're going to live forever.
That's all there is to it. But
I'll say this, though. I don't eat really until the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
So I go all morning. And I find actually since I've been sort of staying strict to that, I feel better.
Do you guys have breakfast?
I have a soft pretzel and apples every day.
All right, Kathy?
I have an egg or sometimes a Cliff Bar.
Like a hard-boiled egg?
Yeah, hard-boiled egg.
You don't get up and cook eggs in the morning.
Hell no.
You don't cook a full farm breakfast?
Ressa, do you have breakfast?
I have an egg white wrap waiting for me outside the door.
Is that every morning?
No, just once in a while.
Okay.
I didn't eat dinner last night, so I was hungry this morning. But you talk about like dairy in there. Cutting dairy out of your diet is another thing that just helps with weight loss so much.
Yeah. I just can't do it. I never will. I love cheese too much.
Yeah.
Like milk too much.
Back off for it, child.
Creamer in my coffee.
That's the thing. Like with coffee, any of these, diets or changing your lifestyle, whatever it is, I'm like, I will never give up coffee. I don't care how bad they tell me it is. It's almost like a smoker who doesn't care. It's like, I love it so much, I don't care. That's how I feel about coffee.
Kathy, it's a quality. You have to enjoy some things.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I gots to have my cocaine.
That's part of the happiness is your cocaine.
And when we get up this early, don't stop it. Don't take that away from us.
Exactly. Anybody, you should find that thing that you love and exploit it and overdo it.
And how did you not have dinner last night? How does anyone not have dinner?
I've had that happen.
Not me.
Yeah.
You're like a scheduled eater, though. Like you eat at the same times every day, right?
Try to, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was at Milk Boy from 4 to 6. We walked over early. Matt came with me. He didn't have lunch, so he had an early dinner. They have an Impossible cheesesteak there, Steve, which is really good. So I didn't eat then, and then we left. We walked home. I had to drive him to the airport, and then by the time I got home, it was like 8 o'clock, and
Anybody time.
Yeah.
And you don't want to eat right before you go to bed because you'll make a poo-poos.
Yeah. and I just didn't have anything to eat in my house.
You didn't have anything to eat in your house. There you go. Okay. You didn't go to bed at 8.
I mean, I started to settle down, did some work, watched some TV, watched a new episode of Julia.
Oh, there you go.
All right. Well, if you eat a big fatty breakfast or sugary cereal, you're going to be hungry by midday and you're going to have less energy throughout the day, according to him. All right. Number 3 on this list. These are keys to happiness to this longevity expert. Socialize.
Yes.
Socializing daily is key to being happy, according to Dan. Make sure that you have coffee with a friend, you have lunch with a friend.
That's me.
You want to make sure to engineer in 4 to 5 hours or 6 if you can of social interaction with people you like. Studies suggest that loneliness can do more than affect your mood. It can also take a toll on your health, increasing your risk of dementia, heart attacks, and strokes as well.
So I have a friend. We spend a lot of time together. We live near each other. We're at each other's houses.
Is this Rockstar Rob?
No, he moved.
Oh, he did.
Remember?
That's right,
I
yeah.
needed a new friend when Rob
once
left.
he left.
So
Stay in touch.
yes, but her husband says that he likes that she has somebody like me that we can and that we enjoy so much. You know,
Because he doesn't have to talk to her now.
no, but we enjoy what we do. Like, she's my activity friend. So we made like the holiday planters. We go to different activities together. We take the kids. We'll go out by ourselves. You know, we will walk, you know, exercise together. Like, we pretty much do a lot together.
That's great.
Yeah. And so, but it's just kind of like, I don't know, like, I feel like I look forward to, if we're going to go for a walk one day, you know, like, I'll look forward to that.
In your social circle, Preston, you have a couple of people that you see fairly regularly. Your friends Steve and Will and Lori and
my buddy Jim.
Yeah,
I got some friends.
Yeah,
we hang out. Golf is kind of my social thing,
Right. Yeah.
so I try to do that.
Yeah, but that would be part of it, and that's
a time or two a week.
That's a few hours.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. All right, another thing you can do: volunteer. This is what people who do that are happy. They volunteer. It says find a little time to give back every day.
Yeah, it's very good if you can do that. It makes you feel fulfilled.
Worldwide, statistically speaking, volunteers are happier than non-volunteers.
I often volunteer to tell people to volunteer, and that's very fulfilling.
That's
as
a
well.
good idea, as long as you're offering that up.
I'm very busy, so I don't have the time.
Research published by the University of East Anglia suggested that volunteering was associated with improved life satisfaction, increased happiness, and fewer symptoms of depression.
I'm going to volunteer to find out where East Anglia is.
Another thing you can do is nap. The 5th suggestion for happiness was simple. Take a nap.
You son of a bitch. I'm looking at you, Preston. Yesterday, Preston goes like vampires. He goes under his desk and falls asleep literally for 10 minutes?
Yep.
10 minutes.
It's just because
10 minutes!
And I wouldn't have to do that if I wasn't so freaking tired. That's the thing.
Well, probably, but I think that they're good for you even if you're not tired.
You know, the funny thing about it is when I was a kid and in like nursery school and kindergarten, when they had nap time, I was anti-nap.
Yeah, you hated
I
it.
hated the idea of that. I wanted nothing to do. I wasn't tired. I was up and excited and ready to go.
When your mom tried to get you to nap or whatever, you'd fight her?
Yeah. I never even considered it. And in fact, she told the people that ran the nursery school that I went to, it's okay, he doesn't have to nap. So I had special dispensation from my mother.
I nap every day, and sometimes I nap twice a day.
Wow.
When's your favorite time? When you're driving?
To nap? Yeah, as soon as I get in the car. No, it's about 2:30 every day.
Oh, really? Okay. See,
Yeah.
that would destroy me.
The only
I
thing
tried it, and that would destroy me.
Yeah, the only thing that I don't like about it is missing out on like some daylight, especially this time of year. You know, so when you nap in the afternoon at that time, we only get so many precious hours of daylight.
Well, then at that time, the Steve Wilco show is on.
Right,
So,
yes. I got to catch up on my
You're going to miss
Wilcos.
that.
I've seen you take a little nap in meetings before, Steve.
Oh, God. I'll tell you what'll happen. If there is a fluorescent lights, that hum.
Yeah, or just being
Mother
tired.
of God.
Yeah.
Oh, it knocks me out.
So researchers found that taking a power nap in the day could be the secret to happiness. Psychologist Professor Richard Wiseman said previous research has shown that naps under 30 minutes make you more focused, productive, and creative.
Dr. Mike has said a couple of times that there are people who take extensively long naps during the day can actually be causing harm by doing that.
Yeah, that's the thing. You take a short one. Take a quick one.
10 minutes under your desk.
It's much easier. It's easier on you. All right. The next one is work part-time if you can. Working part-time instead of full-time can make you happier. That is, if you have the means to.
And develop a taste for garbage food.
He said, we know that from every place in the world that people working less than about 35 hours a week report the highest level of happiness. Of course you do.
Yes.
Wow.
35 hours, you're on the precipice of a full 40-hour week. That's
it says under 35 hours.
Oh, under 35.
Yeah, the people who work under 35 hours report that they have the highest level of happiness.
So work 34
Hell
hours and
yes.
59 minutes. Yeah.
I would fear boredom at that point. Like if you're only working part-time, I mean, unless you're socializing and napping all the time.
I don't know, man. I think working like 4 days a week rather than 5 days a week would be phenomenal.
You have more time to enjoy life than constantly be at work.
Nobody sits on their deathbed wishing they had worked longer.
Huh?
One guy did.
One guy did?
Yeah.
And look at him.
Yeah, he's
dead.
Would you guys work an hour longer each day to have a 4-day week?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That would be the key for those.
Without question, I would do that. No problem. I could handle an extra hour a day and then having a full day off.
Would you work one 40-hour day?
There's only 24 hours in a day.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. Maybe you do 2 jobs.
Yes.
In one day.
Very hard.
That can equate to be 40. Hold on real quick. Lori's been on hold for a while. I want to go to her. Hi, Lori. Good morning.
Good morning, Ed.
Good morning to see you, Lori. What's up?
I just want to tell you, I watched this documentary on Netflix last night. It's called Live to 100, The Blue Zones, and it is absolutely amazing.
Okay, so the blue zones is what I was talking about. What this researcher was indicating, that there are these pockets in the world where people tend to live longer. Okay, what was so amazing about it?
It just points out diet, exercise, how these people in these blue zones live compared to how Americans live.
Okay.
So in general, and the whole gist of it is that people living this way are happier, Lori?
Yes.
All right.
You pointed out the Italian town. And
Spaghettiville.
I need to get to work. I just want to let you guys know that there's a documentary called The Blue Zones Live to 100, and I suggest you watching it.
Go slave away at your job, Lori. We'll see you later,
I will.
okay?
Thank you, guys.
All right, see you later. Bye-bye.
There was a story I saw in the Daily Mail, Preston, about people who are moving. What was the location you had? It was South America?
So there's Sardinia, Italy, Nicoya, Costa Rica is the closest to South America.
Okay, so let's go to
Central
Costa
America.
Rica. Yeah, Central America. So they moved to Costa Rica, and there is a big migration actually out of the United States. Not a big, but significant enough, where people are moving to these areas in an attempt to take some of that stress off their lives and live longer. And so they're saying, it's like you were talking, Marissa, about the house hunters, specials. And a lot of people will go down to Costa Rica and other locations like that.
I took my son when he was 13 to Colorado for a summer visit. I'd only been to Colorado in the wintertime to go, skiing and things like that. And seeing the outdoor people out there doing their thing, I was like, they're so healthy. You know what I mean? Just looking at people, and now it's a different story when it's cold and you're shuttered inside and all that stuff, but
not necessarily.
I guess not.
No,
I mean,
like winter ski sports and
breathe
I've
clean
said this
air.
many times. My brother has lost 70 pounds since he moved to Colorado. His quality of life is so much better out there. He's a happier person. He's a much healthier person. And in large part, it's because when he looks out his back window, there's something to do every weekend. And he can go out, and not even every weekend, every day. And like we just don't have as much stuff around here. There's certainly things you can do in and around our area that are healthy and outdoorsy. But out there's just more.
Well,
we have whoopie pies.
Part of it, I think, is it being picturesque.
Absolutely.
And you want to be out in. You see that and go, man, this is amazing. I need to be out and witness this.
It's
every
rustic.
day.
Yeah, I agree 1,000%. It just for your visually, it's just a relaxing thing.
Yeah. I have Spring Mountain near me. I could
There you
go
go.
look at that.
Yeah.
You have the prison.
That's the Pikes
prison,
Peak of Royersford.
It is. It is.
You have the Limerick nuclear power plant.
I think it's the 7th highest plateau in
Montgomery County.
In Montgomery County.
How far is Spring Mountain from your house?
I can be there in like 6 minutes.
All right. I want to snowboard more this summer or this winter.
Do you have a room Marissa can live in?
It's not going to work out for you.
No, but I feel like I can do that in the afternoon. Like I could leave here and go right to the mountain.
Yeah, absolutely. It's worth it. It definitely is. If you don't want to take a long drive, you can certainly get your fill and and satisfied by going to Spring Mountain and snowing and skiboarding and snowboarding and skiing and also ice skating. They have an outdoor ice skating rink there too, which is what I need to do. I need to go over there and need to ice skate more.
Jay's has a game at their outdoor rink over the holiday. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Winter
We're excited.
classic.
Yeah, excited for that.
Would you ever pursue figure skating?
Yes.
Yes.
Now that you mention, I never considered it. But
Why not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why not?
Those cool moves.
I think I got a triple sow cow in me somewhere.
I'd love to see that.
Kathy, let me know when that is. Maybe we'll come out and see it.
Okay, I will.
All right. So, and then one more thing that you can do: limit your TV and social media.
Yeah.
Yes. Many of us crave the daily fix of social media, scrolling or watching our favorite TV show. But Dan said of TV and social media, it seems that about 30 minutes a day of each is optimal. Research into kids' screen time found that more time spent in front of the TVs, video games, social media boosted the chances of mental health issues in children aged 3 to 6.
It's disgusting. I was watching the show on Netflix yesterday that, this one she just talked about. No, but they talk about how much your screen time, the screen time will pop up and you think, okay, I'm not really spending that much time in front of a screen. And then it pops up and you go,
God.
Mother of Christ.
I know. I get so mad.
I thought I was being good this week.
And if it increases, I get so angry.
I think over the holidays, I'm going to take like a little hiatus of all of it, of social media, just like a healthy break and put it down for a week and a half or whatever, just because for every reason you just described.
You feel better.
Yeah, you feel better, and it's good to reset. And then the other thing about social media when you leave it, Steve, is first of all, nobody misses you, and second of all, you don't really miss anything. It's there when you get back.
Yeah,
your life is just going to be fine right after that.
On the complete opposite of you, Nick, I have a ton of photos and videos from the year to post because, but like in my pattern is I take a photo or I take something really pretty and then I look at it and then I just need to like move away from it.
Yes.
So I don't post it immediately and then they end up piling up and there's a lot of memories from the year that I like to share. So usually between Christmas and New Year's, I like push them all out from the year.
I'm conflicted because yes, I want to see those pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm also trying to cut down on my screen time.
You can just check them all out in once.
Okay.
Throw a couple little likes there, a comment, a follow.
No.
We've got quotas to fill.
Yeah. No, I'm going more and more in the opposite direction with social media. It's just, and it's not like I need to stop doing that. I'm not telling myself. I'm like, I find myself naturally
annoyed,
easily distancing myself from it just because I'm tired of it. And I use it as a time filler on occasion. I don't sit there and go, I need to check this. I need to look at that. So it's I'm in a good place with social media right now. But anyhow, these are some tips from a guy who's definitely done the research on living longer and being happier. But I want to check out this Netflix thing.
Yes.
It's called
Tiger King.
Live to 100. It's not Tiger King.
This guy's going to live forever.
Live to 100 Secrets of the Blue Zones. All right?
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, listen, we need to take a break because we have Fortune Feimster who's going to be joining us in a little bit after 9 o'clock. So we'll take a break, come back in a second, chat with Fortune, and get into some other things, too. We'll be right back.
All British, but for the sake of the game, British.
I follow you.
Okay.
But
All right.
I think Irish.
Robert, where were you born?
Glasgow, Scotland.
Oh! How did we get that
so
wrong?
we got it so wrong.
That's
I'm
embarrassing.
sorry, but that was so Irish.
Is that offensive to him?
You know what? I think Scottish and Irish get annoyed at English people for mixing up the accent.
You're right.
That.
Oh, we've just done.
I'm
it.
so sorry.
You guys are so right because one of my favorite vacations my wife and I took was to Edinburgh.
Yeah.
And that is clearly something they're not fond of having the accent, the dialect confused. Yes.
No, I'm so sorry. We're such idiot English people.
Robert,
So sorry,
Robert,
mate.
can you get past this comment they made?
I identify as Scottish, so I'm okay with it.
You identify as
Where do you live now, by the way?
I live in Wilmington, Delaware, but I work in Delco.
Okay,
Delco.
How long have you been in the States?
15 years.
15
years. All right, man. Well, thank you for playing along. We appreciate that.
Cheers.
All right,
All right,
take care.
take care,
All right, there you go. Brit or not a Brit? All right, so
by the way, you guys killed it. You did a great job.
yeah, how did anybody keep score?
Yes.
Okay.
Somehow Joel ended up winning. 7-6.
That's what we said would happen.
Oh,
He's the linguist.
7-6.
Yeah, Joel got one right that Leah got wrong.
And then we had how many on there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We had 11, so that's not bad.
Yeah.
That's damn good.
Absolutely. It's a difficult thing, especially over a phone.
Yeah. There were a couple of them where I was like, yeah. Yep. You could tell right away, just trying a little bit too hard.
When Joel and Leah started laughing immediately on something, it was never a good sign.
I have a sixth sense. I see dead people. No, that's Japanese.
Now, to put you guys on the spot, do you have any American accent that you try to pull off?
We can only do generic Valley Girl, can't
Generic, yeah.
Okay.
Valley Girl.
do
Try,
that.
give it a shot.
we? Okay, so give us something to say and then.
That's the hard part, is coming up with
okay.
something.
We can just
Tell us what you're doing today.
Okay, so today we are going to Preston and Steve, and then after that we are gonna try a Philly cheesesteak.
Well done.
She even got the
Well
vocal
done.
fry in there.
A slightly confused.
Right.
Kardashian,
Vocal
yeah,
fry
Kardashian,
is very
little
yeah.
Kardashian.
Yeah.
Yep, there was a little Kardashian in there. How
Oh
about-
yeah, that's all our references, isn't it? Really,
Yeah.
don't get a lot of.
Sadly.
Sadly.
How about you, Joel? What else are you doing today?
We might go to the Rocky Steps.
Yeah.
And to the penitentiary.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna have a good time,
All right.
Yeah.
all right.
That's
Sounds
good.
Yeah.
By the way, Eastern State Penitentiary, awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
that
that's
is
what we're
very
thinking
cool. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
In fact, it was roundly condemned by Charles Dickens. So when for driving prisoners stone cold mad.
That's exactly what it did. Yes. So you guys are in town for the next few days, and
yeah.
How quickly will the videos you make end up being put up, or do you need to spend time editing, or are you going to put them up as you go along?
So the first Philly videos will probably be out this week,
Okay.
maybe next week. So yeah, if anyone's just wanting to jump on our channel and have a little watch of us,
You guys
then
are
you can.
so much fun, and I encourage people who haven't checked you guys out to check it out. It's very likable, and it's a great distraction and diversion, and it's
Thank
wonderful.
you.
And so I was telling these guys off air that we're supposed to get a bunch of snow on Friday into Saturday, and they really should. If you have the right gear, try and go sledding down the Art Museum steps. It is a real thing that really happens when it snows out.
It's
We'd
worth,
definitely give that a
it's
go.
worth getting the gear for, isn't it?
All the gear, no
They'll
idea.
set you up.
Yeah.
And give out your social media and YouTube channel and all that stuff.
Yeah, sure. We are at Joel and Leah, JoelAndLia, on everything.
Okay.
So you can find us that way.
Perfect.
All right, excellent. Well, thank you guys for coming by.
Thanks for having us.
It's great to
That was
see you,
Thank
and
you so much.
hopefully we'll be over there again.
Yeah,
sometime.
see you in London,
Definitely.
guys.
Come on,
And,
man.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Excellent. All right, Joel and Leah, let's hear it for it, guys. With that, we are going to take a break. We will come back in just a moment, so make sure that you hang close, my friend. The band Coheed and Cambria will be at the Leah Core Center on July 27th. Tickets are going to go on sale tomorrow at 10 a.m. at CoheedandCambria.com. They are promoting their highly anticipated new record, which is Vaxis 2, A Window of the Waking Mind, and spiraling somewhere in the United States as we speak on a bus, headed out on tour. He is joining us live. Please welcome the singer of the band, the man behind the music, Mr. Claudio Sanchez. This morning. Claudio, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure, man. Listen, I'm going to be straight up with you from the very get-go, because we're excited about having this interview, and I just have the smallest amount of knowledge of Coheed and Cambria. I've been aware of you guys for a long time. I only know a few songs, and I was like, man, do I kind of, BS this guy and just pretend like I know all of his music and do the interview that way? But then I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? You've got such diehard fans. The fans know about your music. They're going to go to your show. But how about the people that might not be that familiar with? And let's bring some new people on board this. And so I want to be one of those people. And the reason I know I'm going to be one of those people is I had this same type of sensation of just checking out and diving into your catalog in the last couple of days that I had when I first, somebody turned me on to Rush. Okay, so I'm a prog guy, and Rush is my band. And when somebody played 2112 for me the first time, that was my first dive into conceptual music. And I was like Pinto in Animal House when he finds out that there's an atom on your fingernail could be a tiny little universe. I was just like, I can't handle this. I was blown away. So I'm really open to diving deep into the world of Coheed and Cambria, because it's a very dense universe. There's a lot of material there. And I bet you love hearing about people coming on board and really experiencing the music, you know?
Yeah, well, that's actually a big conversation we had when making Baxis 2 with our A&R Johnny Minardi. Is just like, Coheed and Cambria has been a band now like 20 years. And it's like, well, what does that look like to somebody coming on board? And it's not that different from, say, like somebody getting introduced to maybe the Star Wars universe and then realizing there's this whole mythology, this whole catalog of records behind them that's vast, and so yeah, I mean, it's definitely a conversation that I love sort of having, is like, this is way more than just music. It's a culture, and all because I started it as a kid. I was shy. I just had a hard time singing about myself, and I was afraid to let people know about me. So I created a concept to hide behind.
And for those who don't know, Claudio, is that the band's work, now listen, there are concept albums. There's The Wall, and there's 2112, and there's Dark Side of the Moon, and these albums that have this entire, project that's just filled with this story, and it's amazing. But the band's entire work, from what I understand, is all a conceptual piece. Is that a correct assumption or a correct characterization?
Yeah. Yep, with the exception of one record, which was called The Color Before the Sun, but everything else is part of a mythology I constructed, a science fiction epic called The Amory Wars, where Coheed and Cambria... Yeah, where Coheed and Cambria are essentially, in the first 5 stories, act as kind of the Adam and Eves. They sort of set the whole mythology off. And then everything else is really about their sons coming into manhood, like an adolescent growing into a man and understanding like his place within this universe that he essentially has control over. And then after that, we kind of fall into this new story arc that we're working on called Baxis. And that, when I look at the Baxis story arc and I think about myself in there, whereas like those original Coheed records, I see myself as the adolescent and I'm growing up. Whereas in the Baxis story arc, I see myself as the father, and that's really kind of the trajectory there. Those are the themes there, is how a father deals with, a man kind of coming into his own as a dad, basically.
I love this notion. I would have been, and I am now going to, because I just as Preston said, we're both fans of this kind of approach to music. It's few and far between these days, and it used to be the norm, and you would just get there and you would immerse and you would look at album art and you would be, what's the message? And you talk about album art, you've got the comic series. I mean, you've got all of this stuff that's dovetailing. Preston, at 16 or 17, if you found this band, you'd be outside the tour bus.
Oh, yeah.
Bugging the crowd. I mean, because honestly, I heard so many people that I respected and respect, Claudio, the band's name would always come up, and I'm like, well, I love this stuff, and so circuitously, I would experience and go, yeah, that's good. Not understanding, I mean, what is a very rare situation where it's not just simply a thematic concept album, it's a concept band. Mm-hmm. That is awesome. That's a mind blower. Did you start to fall into it just through the growth of the band, or was that the modus operandi from day one?
So when I started writing material, I think I was about, I was a teenager. Right. And I became the singer of this band. And when I was writing the material for it, before it was Coheed and Cambria, I started to realize like I just had a hard time. I had a hard time singing songs about myself, putting my heart on my sleeve. But though they were, so I just didn't want anybody to go, oh, I know that person now because of the music, So I started to construct this concept. So I took a trip to Paris, France in 1998. And there's where I started to construct the ideas of Coheed and Cambria, the characters, some of the first songs on the first record. Just because I hadn't been anywhere. I'm a New York kid. The furthest I had been was New Jersey. And now I'm in Paris, and it was so wonderful. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I should just really adopt this as a songwriter. Of course, I'm a teenager. I'm not like thinking that strategically, but that's just what I thought. I was like, you know what? I'm shy. Let's just put this out there with a curtain, and that's what I did. And then, when the band got signed in 2001 to Equal Vision, an indie up in New York, they didn't like the name of the band we had at the time. And so Coheed and Cambria happened to be this project I was working on the side, and the band really liked it. And so with that, we adopted the name, and I took the concept with me, and it's just kind of been the, I guess from day one when the signing, I guess you could say it's always been the thing.
That's great.
All right, so you had mentioned entering this universe for the first time, and you had sort of drawn the parallel between your music and, let's say, the Star Wars universe. So for us, the Star Wars universe started with Episode 4. So if we were talking to somebody who had never seen a movie before, we might start with Episode 4, and other people might say, no, you got to start with Episode 1, and then other people might say, no, you need to start with Rogue One or whatever. So what I want to ask you, 20 years later, and I've done this with other bands where I discovered a band, 4 records in. I'm like, okay, well, where do I start? Do I start with the newest stuff or do I go back to the beginning? So for you, for anybody who just heard Shoulders for the first time, and that is their introduction to the band, do you recommend starting there, or do you recommend going back to 2002 to the Second Stage Turbine Blade?
I think it's totally subjective. I mean, this answer changes all the time. It all depends on timing, right? Like if we were to finish, say, the Vaxxis story, which is 3 more records, my answer to this question would be different. I would say, I'm really proud of Vaxxis 2. I think Vaxxis 2 really kind of stands off on its own. I also really love the idea of like coming into something late and then discovering the fact that there's all this other stuff to consume. But if I had to say, Second Stage Turbine Blade is basically the second part of the Amory Wars. That is the second part in this huge mythology that's probably going to ultimately be 12 parts. But that's the second part. The origin story of those characters is in a record called Year of the Black Rainbow. So technically that's the first. Here's the thing. So sorry, here's where my crazy gets into play.
All right, it's all good.
Every record has a numeric value. So Year of the Black Rainbow, year being singular, Second Stage Turbine Blade, second being 2, In Keeping Secrets of Silent Earth 3 is the third part, Good Apollo 4.
Oh my.
So every record has its numeric value within the story. The Vaxxis story arc, however, that's sort of more cryptic. The V for Vaxxis stands for the Roman numeral 5, and the axis in which all of the Amory Wars is now going to revolve. So it's a little heady.
No. This is absolutely, and I love it because I'm looking at a color code that explains a song can be exclusive, like red, for example. A song can sometimes be exclusively from the point view of a character in the real. I mean, there's a breakdown of tone.
A girl when I was a kid, I was friends with. Her name was Divina.
Davina.
I always thought that was a cool name.
Was she a girl that you liked but didn't like you back?
Very much so.
It sounds like the kind of scenario.
Right?
That name, right?
Yeah. God, I was explaining to Caroline the other day. I forgot how we got on the conversation, but I was like, I crushed on girls so hard all the time when I was even grade school.
It gets in your soul.
Junior high school, and I was just there was some kind of stalking thing she had mentioned, and I forgot it was either on a show or something like that. And I'm like, oh yeah, I used to stalk girls.
Yeah,
and I didn't mean that literally.
Right, you meant like you had a pit in your basement with a gurney and
no, just hide in the bushes in in their yard. No, but
intercept their mail.
But I would get obsessed is too strong of a word, but I would crush really hard. And where it would it hurt. You know what I mean?
It can level you.
Yeah.
And from that is born the fear of, now I got past it thankfully early enough in my life that it worked out, but that fear of rejection.
Yeah.
You put this person up on a pedestal and the last thing you want them to go is, oh, why don't you go back in your hole?
Divina.
I should call her up.
Let's be friends.
Hi, who is this?
You have any idea what happened to her?
No.
Okay.
I have no idea.
I'm having a mini high school reunion this weekend, and I didn't go to my main high school reunion, which was 2 or 3 months ago. And at this, the one that's happening this weekend, is a whole bunch of people that I really want to see. So I'm excited about it because at the high school reunion itself, there were some people there that I just never really care if I encounter again or not. But anyway, the point in the story is that one of the girls that's coming to this mini high school reunion, I had such a crush on in high school, and it's one of the, in my mind, a missed opportunity because I found out later that she liked me in high school too. Yeah.
No!
Like much later.
No.
But it all, but you know in your mind it worked out the way it was supposed to work out.
No regret.
But still, you know,
Like it's funny, Steve. That's a really good point. And no like actual regrets in life,
right?
But regrets for the missing moments.
For the moments,
yeah.
The meaningless sex. No,
yes, yes. Who doesn't love meaningless sex?
Yes.
But so Steve, there was a time where we were holding hands. We never made out. And this was like junior year, and we got back to a certain place. And I want to ask her impression of this story, or even if it registers in her brain, because it certainly registered in mine, and maybe for her it was just a blip, and she never thought about it again. But we got to this place, and we were waiting for some other friends to show up, and we were, I think, both juniors in high school at the time, and we had some time to kill. And I said, so what do you want to do while we wait? And she's like, well, we could just sit here and make out. And I go,
yeah.
And I completely
dropped the ball.
Dropped the ball entirely. Yeah. And like moments later, I'm like, that was my in. And I blew it. I absolutely blew it. So I wonder if she has any recollection of it.
Right. And what was that? Was that meant as a cast off, or was that a sincere let's make out?
I think she wanted to make out. And I blew it.
Oh, man.
You know?
You blew it.
Right, but I think your approach to women was a lot like mine, Preston. And like, sometimes it was women who were out of my league, and other times it was just girls that you crushed on that you couldn't figure out how to talk to.
God, Nick, you just reminded me of a story. So one of my closest friends. Okay, so his sister, a couple of years younger than this, like 2 years younger, and this was, so I knew her all through when we were in junior high school, all that stuff. But years later, we had this big event, this big party. It was a float trip. We used to go out and canoe these rivers and stuff like that. It was a big, huge group of us.
And you're in your bathing suits.
Big party fest. And anyway, so his sister was there, and at some point she came over and like sat on my lap. I was sitting in the water and all this, and I'm like, wow, I think she's kind of. She's kind of firing on me, but that's his sister. I can't. No, there's no way.
His
That's
mother,
And he was there, so it was like way off limits. Years later, I ran into her again, and I asked, I'm like, listen, I got to ask you this.
Oh, my God.
I go, do you remember that time, the float trip? I'm like, were you kind of,
flirting?
Interesting or flirting? It's just, no.
Oh,
Preston.
Christ. Oh my God, no.
Oh my God.
Like
no.
with the earnestness of Kathy. Oh God, no. Oh God, no. I was just tired.
Which made me feel better that I didn't make a move on her.
Yeah. Oh, good thing you didn't.
Because how bad would that have been?
Help! I'm being molested!
Stranger danger!
Stranger danger!
We're on a river!
I do think sometimes.
I felt so cheap.
I do think sometimes, like, I'm listening to your story, and I know, and you're going to get mad at me for saying it, but I almost want to be like, how did you think that if she was like, oh, God, no way. Like,
guys
how did you get the wrong?
I completely support Preston in his take on that. You might, Preston, especially if you sort of thought she was attractive.
She was cute, very cute. And Kat, she came over and like sat on my lap and put her arm around me and everything.
Oh, all right, okay.
And the tough part about that was,
you had a bone?
I got a Woody.
Yeah.
And it was like I had to like move her.
Wait, you did?
Yeah. Oh my God, yes. I had to move her.
He had a river bone.
I had to like scoot a little bit so she would.
Oh, God, no.
Oh, God, no.
No.
That's all you're going to, Kathy.
No,
God, no.
No, you're
I'm just
an idiot.
And then she what do I do? Are you going to come? I'm just going to sit here in the water for a little.
We should design a magic 8-ball with Kathy for young men who are going through the same things, and you turn it over, and it's Kathy's face going, oh God, no.
No.
I think that Kathy and Marissa did not have to deal with the pain. I bet you guys, when you had crushes on guys, they would be fulfilled. I bet you never got shot out of your league.
Maybe Kathy, but this came up in my brain. I remember in middle school we had a slam book. It was like a Hello Kitty slam book,
right?
And I had written my crushes in the back, and somebody blew it up and told told Pat Spadero and Keith Cossack that I had a crush on them from the Hello Kitty slam book, and I thought the world was over.
And what
I thought
age?
my life was over. 7th grade,
Okay.
maybe
Okay,
8th
so
grade.
you're in it then at that point.
Still in the development though.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Kathy, did you ever like have a crush on a guy and it wasn't fulfilled?
Was there a teacher you couldn't get with?
Stop with the teacher thing. We did try to set my friend up with a teacher years ago, like years after though, after she had graduated.
College?
Yeah,
Okay.
it didn't work out. But
Wait, one of your teachers?
Yeah, years later when we were older.
Not when they could have had that. You wouldn't want it to affect your grade.
No. We were out of college. We tried to. It didn't work out.
All right.
Nick, I didn't date until much later. So I feel like my emotional connection with people wasn't, I didn't build that. It wasn't as strong until later on in life. So
when did you start dating?
I didn't really have my heart broken or anything like that in high school. And also my mom always told me, I did date, but she said, always be careful of people's feelings. Watch what you do because it's gonna, if you hurt somebody, you break somebody's heart, it's gonna wrap back around and it will happen to you.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like right out of The Craft. Whatever spell you send out comes back at you.
Yeah.
No, but that's good advice.
Yeah.
From your mom, which is wow, good for you.
You were about to say which is odd, which is strange.
Doesn't happen very often.
But no, I would imagine Kathy's experience was way different than ours, Nick,
Yes.
as far as
Because she's hot.
having crushes and just getting destroyed or being afraid to approach that person.
This is what helps turn you into the incel you were meant to be.
So congrats.
Thank you. All right. Well, our guest is on the line. We love her. She's going to be performing at the Kimmel Cultural Campus at the Miller Theater. Not until February 17th, but you can get those tickets now. And I wish Casey was here because he by far is the biggest fan, but he's out sick today.
I'd say I'm competitive.
No,
with
I
him.
know we love her, but
Yeah.
Casey's a massive diehard fan. But we would like to welcome Fortune Feimster to the show this morning.
What's up, you guys?
Nice to see you,
Hi.
Fortune. Thanks for coming on.
So good to see you guys.
I don't know if you want to jump in on this or not, but we had this impromptu discussion about crushes in your developmental years. All of us were talking about that, and like middle school, high school, and all that stuff. And you've had some great stuff in your routine that I've seen before about being gay and finding out what that means at that age. Did you have crushes that just killed you back then?
Oh my God, I was so intense because I had no idea that they were crushes. I didn't realize I was gay. so much of my youth was spent, staring at friends and putting lotion on their arms. And just thinking I was a really great friend.
Right.
I love it.
And not really understanding what was happening.
It's such a genuinely sweet thing to think of because you're trying to make heads and tails of these feelings and you don't know what's going on. And that's why stuff that occurs during that time period will live with you all the days of your life,
Sure. My very first stand-up joke that ever got any traction was when I said to people was like a really intense friend, and I never understood when my mom would be like, I don't understand why you get so upset when your friend Ashley goes out on a date with a guy, and I was like, because she's my best
It's the best. When did you have like a sort of quote aha moment of I am gay. I like women. Was there a specific moment or was it a slow burn?
It was a slow burn in the beginning, and then I had the weirdest aha moment of my life. I watched a Lifetime movie, and the girl in the movie was coming out and realizing she was gay. And by the end of the movie, I went, oh my God, I'm gay. And I go, I just realized I was gay from watching a Lifetime movie.
Hey.
This is so embarrassing.
I'm a huge fan of the Hallmark and Lifetime, mainly the Hallmark Christmas movies. And they had a gay couple and the lesbian couple. And it was as ham-handed as it handled as with the heterosexual couples. It was good to see that they universally don't get it, and I'm sure that anyone, but in a way that's sort of sweet that it's that awkward, whether heterosexual or whatever, they're handling it incorrectly the whole way, but that's what makes it fun. Yeah.
All of us are just trying to figure this out, We just want to be loved. That's all.
To that point, Live, Laugh, Love tour, is that a reference to those motivational posters you'd see all the time. You'd see them all the
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you have one in your house?
No, but I had a friend who had one, and I'm like, okay, yeah, it's almost like the cat poster. Hang in there, It's like one of those you don't really argue against it. It seems like a good sentiment, but it also seems sort of obvious.
I mean, it's so funny. It's such a thing in like the Midwest and the South. Like every mom I know, every woman I know had like a live, laugh, love sign in their kitchen, and it would get kind of made fun of, like, because in their mind they're like, this is art. I don't know, like my interior design is amazing, and I used to make fun of my mom for it, and then when my now wife moved in with me, she goes, "What is that on the wall?" And I go, "What?" And it was a live, laugh, love sign, and I go, "Oh my God, I'm turning into my mother." So this current hour that I'm doing is very much my mom and my wife, and those two women in my life are and how they're very much intertwined.
Very cool.
So it just made me think of that.
Well, that's a fun take on it, because I have a whole thread with a couple of friends, and we send these type of signs to each other. Ironically, mostly because it's like, do I need a sign in this room telling me it's where you do laundry? Like, oh, in the toilet.
You sure do, girl. You sure do. I need a sign that says gather. I'll go, okay.
There's in New York, especially on Long Island, for the longest time, every Italian friend's house that I would go to, usually in the kitchen or the living room, there'd be some sort of sign that said, "It's Sinatra's world, we just live in it." So,
oh, really?
Yeah, it was always. I mean, the Sinatra reverence amongst my friends, their parents was huge. So, but
I love it.
Do you collect signs like that as well? Because there's sort of a kitschy value to those old sort of keep on truck and all that stuff has now become what used to be just considered, pop art is now considered art.
Well, now that I'm married and I share space with someone with taste, I'm not allowed to have those signs. But those signs live deep in my heart. Because who doesn't love a good mantra,
Yeah.
Or just a good old fashioned, it's wine o'clock.
Right. Oh my God. Yes, it's wine o'clock, or it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah.
Hey, Fortune, I'm a huge fan of you, but also of the morning show on Apple TV Plus, and it was really cool to see you show up in season 3. You played yourself. You were doing like a comedy set. How did that come about? And did you actually do a set, or was it just like the beginning and the end, and they filmed it and then moved on?
Well, that was the tricky part. Is they asked me to do it. They reached out and they were like, does Fortune want to do this and play herself? And I was like, oh my God, it's such a trip that I am me in the world of the morning show. And they said, it's basically like an upfront situation, and that I would be doing like a stand-up set. And even though it was a small little part, the writer was really cool and called me, and she was like, because you're playing yourself, we want it to like not be weird, if like we want you to feel like you're doing stand up there, so that people are like, Fortune stinks at stand up. I was like, oh, thanks. So we kind of like worked on it together. Like, this is what you have to basically say. So what's like a Fortune way of saying it? So even though it was this tiny part, I got to, have some creative part in there.
It was funny because you were telling funny jokes about fictional characters, about people that like Steve Carell's character and people that don't exist in the real world. But they were funny because if you had watched the morning show, you kind of got the joke, and it was an interesting setup for like fictional characters, but funny jokes nonetheless.
And I didn't get to see any of what had happened in the season so far. They just had to kind of tell me.
Oh,
like I had watched the show the previous seasons, but I didn't know about what had happened the first couple episodes of that season. So they're like, this happens and this happens. So
did they write the jokes, or you did?
They sent me like what their version was, and I was like, can I change this? And they said yes.
Oh, nice.
So I basically took what they wanted the idea to be about and tweaked it to be like, here's a funnier way of saying that.
So with the stand up, and obviously you're now at a level. I'm growing up, I'm sure you never thought you would be at this level now where you can play yourself in the morning show. But I don't know when this happened, but I was looking through your Instagram timeline, and you were one of the guests on the Adam Sandler's tour.
Yeah.
And I know you're a big Adam Sandler fan.
I am, yeah.
Was that had to be simultaneously wonderful and a little bit nerve-wracking?
Oh man, it was so cool. It's such a full circle moment because I bought Adam's they're all gonna laugh at you album when I was in eighth grade.
Love
and
that.
it was so silly, but I memorized all of the songs, and I would go to like my team practices. I played softball because duh. And I would perform all of these songs for them. So I told Adam, I said, I got to make people laugh in eighth grade thanks to you. And he thought that was so cool. But I was doing a show. I'd known Adam over the years. I've worked with him adjacent. I've done stuff with his nephew and his production company. And we were doing a show at Largo, and he was like, hey, I watched your special. It was really funny. I was like, oh, my God, thank you. And he was like, you want to do a couple shows on my tour? I'm like, are you kidding me? Absolutely. Yeah. It's these like 15,000 seat arenas. It's just like such a neat vibe. And, the guy's a huge star everywhere he goes. It's like there aren't many guys or people in general in that position anymore. And he's just like world known. Right?
Sure. Yeah.
Is it easy to walk out to a crowd like that? I mean, you're used to playing to a smaller, not a tiny crowd, a comedy club, but walking out to that many people, is there a different approach you take?
Yeah, I mean, luckily I'd had a little taste of arenas this past summer. I did some shows with Bert Kreischer.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that made me feel, a little bit used to the rhythm of it. Definitely the laughs come in waves. There are times when you go, is this funny? Like, I have no idea. Like, I remember on Bert's show when I first did it, I was like, I don't know if this is working. So you just kind of do it. And then the set ends and the crowd like explodes and you're like, oh, okay. Like,
it worked. That's got to be, that's got to be, because we were talking, Bert was just in town, had a show, and we've talked about, the stadium shows, the big arena shows, which used to be, there's no way you can do that now because of the screens. And Bert talks about the investment he made in these large screens and the sound system. But, still on an auditory level, you as the comedian, you're going to have a delay to the response to your stuff. Yeah.
So you just have to kind of be patient and do your set and not, whereas like in these theaters I'm doing, it's such an intimate show. The crowd and I are very simpatico. There, you just have to do your set and know that, just have confidence that it's working.
What I think is wild, by the way, and you talk about people, and obviously Bert's star is rising. I mean, but you have worked up a friendship. You worked on the show Fubar with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and you and Arnie, and talk about Bert. Bert, met Arnold, but you're kind of buds now with Schwarzenegger, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I never thought, I would ever get asked to be in an action series. That was not on my bingo card. And then I certainly wasn't sure what it would be like with Arnold. I had never met him before. And it's called Fubar. It's this crazy action series on Netflix. And I was like, will I be like the person in the van giving the coordinates? And they were like, oh, you're a CIA agent. Like, you're going to be in helicopters and running from explosives. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. So I met him my first day, and he's a big comedy fan in general.
Yeah.
He was very good friends with Milton Berle. So he used to hang around all the like Friars Club things, and Milton would give him tips on when he would do his comedy movies. So he had a real appreciation for my line of work. So we just bonded, and now he doesn't have a phone, so he'll just go on his iPad and he'll be like, I'm gonna face unfortunate, and like give you no warning. Like, I could be talking to you guys right now, and all of a sudden it says like Arnold's calling, you're like,
So he faced. That's how his main communication, or through his iPad, FaceTime.
Yeah. He doesn't need a. He doesn't want a phone. Doesn't need a phone. He has people around him
that will tell
really
him.
Needed to get a hold of him. Yeah. But he called me when my dad was having surgery, and I was doing my radio show that I do with Tom Papa, and he called, and I was like, "Oh, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger." They're like, "Answer it." I go, "I'm on the radio. I can't." So I denied it.
Oh, no.
And then Arnold literally called back like 15 seconds later, like, "I know you want to talk to me."
Did he ever try any jokes out on you? If he's a fan of comedy?
Yeah, he's always shooting jokes. You know, those zingers. He's kind of like he likes to poke with people.
Zinger. So between Schwarzenegger and Tom Papa, you've worked with the two most famous action stars.
You know Tom. He loves a good action show.
Let me ask you, because I just have to think that one of the big joys of being, because we love Tom, he's a big fan, a big friend of the show, I should say.
Yeah.
When you're in that sphere, the amount of top-level sourdough bread you must get is amazing.
Oh, I just got some yesterday. It's been a minute. I was like, I'm about to quit if you don't send me some bread.
I
hold him hostage.
He sent me some of the starter dough.
The yeast.
The yeast,
really?
right. And very, it's a wonderful gesture. He also sent one that he made. When I eventually attempted to make it, it ended up looking like in that scene in the original Star Trek where the transporter doesn't work.
Yeah.
It was not good. So, but
I would be the same way.
Yeah.
You're not handy in the kitchen?
Oh God, no. I'm good at ordering food. I can do that so well. Like, what do you guys want?
All right.
Tell me.
So your wife has the taste. Does she cook as well?
She's a better cook than I am, but we're both pretty bad about going out to eat. That is our goal in the new year, is to try to, make some healthier home decisions.
Oh,
I'm an action star.
I'm sure you're on that same sort of Thor Avengers regimen.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm going to be ripped. Wait.
Fortune, there's a
season.
on one of your specials, you tell this story, and I don't want you to have to tell the story or anything like that, but you tell the story about when you got married on your wedding day, and you guys got knocked over by a wave at the bottom of the steps, and like it's just so perfectly told in a way that just it's so relatable, it's so adorable. And it just seems to me like, but where did that happen, by the way? Was that on the coast of California?
Yeah, it was in Malibu. In the thick of the pandemic, we got married with like 4 friends, and thought it would be such a great idea to take pictures. Luckily, it was the end of the day, and we were taking them kind of by the ocean, and just got very bold. Like, hey, well, look at those cool stairs that lead down to that water. Wouldn't that be neat? Not really like thinking how waves work. So we got on these stairs, and our photographer like climbed this rock, and we got the most gorgeous picture ever. And then she got a series of pictures of us just getting pummeled by a wave.
But you share those photos in the special, it's a true story. It's a legit story. My fiance and I watched that special together, and we're planning what our wedding's going to be like next year. And we were like, man, if only we could get knocked over by a wave and had a photograph.
I know.
It's so sweet.
It was one of those things where I would have been really pissed if we had at least had the photograph. It's not as fun for it to happen, and you guys will be like, you would never believe the craziest thing that happened to me. If you're like, oh, whatever. But like having the picture, you're like, look.
Is there video? Is there video? Because America's Funniest Videos has tons of those errant waves taking out the newlyweds.
You would have been right on.
You've been right on that.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention the movie Family Switch on Netflix because you're in it, and Preston had read a story about this quote unquote controversy about this what they label as an incestuous kiss. Which is between
the brother and sister end up in the parents' bodies, and the parents have to kiss at some point, and that in its core is a brother and sister kissing each other.
They were like they were about to, but didn't. I don't think they ever kissed, did they?
They're supposed to.
Supposedly do, but it's an uncomfortable kind of,
Oh, okay.
peck, and they're not like making out or anything like that.
But we were
But some
arguing-
people got
but then-
skeeved out about it. I was like, come on, man.
Yeah, it's not.
But I mean, at the end of the day, it is Ed Helms and Jennifer Gardner. It's not.
Good point.
You know.
Well, also,
Right.
by my dictionary, incest constitutes more than a mini makeout session, right?
Are you asking me this because I'm Southern?
I just thought it was the most bizarre controversy to arise out of this family movie.
I know. That was I think because it was Jennifer and Ed, clearly two adults, and it was a joke they made. But there's always something. But the movie's it's a pretty cute movie. It's super fun and one of those holiday movies that a lot of people are watching right now. So
yeah, you're running the gamut from action star to this.
I bob around a lot. At this point, I've been in LA 20 years. I've been lucky to work with so many cool people, and like with that, I had done Yes Day with Jennifer, and we really hit it off. And she was like, "Do you want to, pop in this movie I'm doing?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." So you just start to form relationships.
Speaking based on. Yeah.
And then I hoe myself out.
Oh, yourself out. Fortune, you mentioned being Southern. Where is home? Where were you born and raised?
North Carolina.
North
Charlotte,
Carolina.
North Carolina.
All right, so
technically this place called Belmont.
I lived in South Carolina for a bit. My whole family is from Kentucky. I was born in Tennessee, so I have Southern roots. I have shaken the accent that I had at one point. But it's funny about the South and who considers what to be country, because I was talking to my my stepbrother-in-law, actually, bizarrely enough.
Yeah.
But anyhow, he was telling me about this friend of his and how country she is. Now, this is me doing my impression. He says, "Oh yeah, Lori, man, she's so country you can barely understand what the hell she's saying." And I'm like, have you heard yourself speak?
Oh my God, that's hilarious. That's me after a couple drinks.
Does it come back
deeper into it?
Oh yeah, it gets thick. I mean, I can't believe I still have it as thick now. But yeah, it's pretty thick.
When I lived in,
I want to stay and talk with you guys. They have me on this. I gotta call it to this other station.
Oh, you got to run. Okay, that's all right.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's
Not
all
a problem
good.
at all. Yeah.
Listen, when Arnold calls, you got to go. I get it.
They're like texting me, and I'm like, I want to talk to you guys.
It's all good. We'll do it another time for sure. You're going to be in town February 17th at the Miller Theater. We love you, Fortune. All right. Thank you for checking in.
I love you guys. I was hoping I would get to talk with you, and so thank you for having me. It's an honor.
Anytime. We'll do it again soon. Thank you, Fortune Feimster, guys. Busy, man. Busy. She's in demand. She's awesome.
She's
incredible.
so cute. I
And
love her.
there was a show called Life in Pieces, and she played this character that just cracked me up. But it's just the worst nightmare to have this person living in your house. But she's so sweet. She's so nice. It's so antithetical. That's what makes that character that much funnier.
That it's just the antithesis.
Yeah, complete.
I love it.
She's Preston, you mentioned the date. She's in Philly on February 17th, which is a Saturday. The night before, she's in Hershey, and then she's got some days off before that. So maybe she can come visit us before the Hershey and or Philly shows.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
We need to see if we can arrange that.
That'd be cool.
All right. Cool. All right. Well, listen, with that, let's take a quick break. We'll get into some bizarre file stories when we get back. And don't forget our Word of the Week prize, giving that away tomorrow. I don't want you to miss it. It's a stock car racing experience, Pocono Raceway. Be back in just a moment. Stay with us.
Code, your fan base is obviously very much into the minutia. We are as well for so many things that are pop culture, and obviously you're a science fiction fan. So what has rocked your? I got to assume you're a Dune fan, correct?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. I love all versions of Dune. I love the Frank Herbert book. I actually liked the David Lynch movie. I mean, when I saw that, I was a child.
So did Steve and I.
Yeah,
I had no.
We're fans as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I really love the new one. So yes, I'm definitely a fan of Dune. Definitely a fan of Star Wars. I also really like I liked Krull. Are you guys familiar?
Krull, of course, Krull.
Yeah.
It's cheesy goodness.
Oh my God!
That sort of star, that weapon,
star that he would throw.
was awesome. Yeah.
The glaive.
The glaive.
Yeah,
Dude, I wanted one of those so bad. Yeah, I totally.
Didn't.
Yeah.
I was like, right? But like, so that was like the thing, right? So when I was a kid, like you'd sit watching HBO in hopes that Star Wars would come on, and HBO would give you like give you Crawl. They give you Ice Pirates. Do you guys remember Ice Pirates?
with Robert Urich. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Like, so those are like sort of the, those are like the science fiction movies that I got kind of brought up on. Comic books, obviously. Anything sort of pop culture, like Saturday morning cartoons, He-Man, G.I. Joe. I was just like I thought Tron. I think the era that I grew up in. I mean, I'm a pre-adolescence. I'm in the '80s, so it's very character driven. People are trying to sell toys essentially, and like so characters are very defined, even in like the most cheesy way. When you think of like G.I. Joe, you got Shipwreck, who's like the sailor, or so like I think I was kind of lucky in that respect because. I don't know that all that stuff really influenced me.
Oh, we talk about this.
Hard.
Yeah, we talk about this, especially from that period. We were just talking about the movie Alien Nation. Do you remember that with the?
Yep, absolutely.
Right. All of those were very high concept, very easily consumable science fiction.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny because that gives us a fixed point at what was your impetus for this, and it all makes sense. But that's very cool. So besides the comic book and the music, since everything obviously has a very theatrical aspect to it, would you take a foray into films? Is this something that has actually happened and we're unaware of, that you've announced any plans for films? Because I think your vision would be perfect for this.
We've attempted it, but on a very grassroots sort of small level, not in a very serious way. Like, no one's really come to approach us essentially. Okay. Like at one point, Mark Wahlberg tried to get involved. His company Leverage, but it wasn't really. I mean, I think it was like the wrong time because now I got to tell you, like, I get asked this question way more than I've ever, and I think it has a lot to do with maybe the Vaxxas story arc because a lot of the accompanying art, the story is very photographic. It's very photorealistic, and it's easier to see, I think, than it ever has been.
Right.
So I get asked it a lot. So I have a feeling it might happen. Nothing right now, but it just feels like the wave is pushing in that direction.
All right, so Claudio, to that end, in 1998, when you're writing in Paris, essentially you're creating this story arc, but the constant from 1998 until right now is the music, right? The music sort of is at the base of a lot of this stuff, and a lot of what your career has become. However, in 2022, you're sitting on a tour bus and you're Zooming with us, and we're in completely different states. So obviously, and in many ways, the technology over that amount of time has changed vastly, which allows you to tell the story in many different ways. Which part of the technology advancements that we've had over the last 2 decades is most appealing for Coheed and Cambria? Which part of it is just kind of a distraction? What have you guys really embraced? And you're like, oh my God, this is a really great way for us to tell the story in a way that we really want to.
I mean, I always want to see it kind of get played out in a live action, just in the simplest form, whether it be television or movie. But there's so many other things now we have VR, we have metaverses, we have all sorts of stuff. And I think there's a lot of source material for us to draw from, and again, like that was never really my approach. It was really just to make, comic books essentially, just to tell these stories in a different way, watch them get up off the record and come to life. And now it's like, yeah, sure, movies and television, but there's so many other places to stretch.
Yeah.
So it's really hard for me to wrap my head around all of them. But, at this stage, I mean, I'd like to do everything. I mean, I think these characters are, I think the characters are really, when I see our fans and I see them resonate with certain characters, that's so insane to me, because I never anticipated that. I never anticipated anybody to see themselves connect with a character. That was just not on the top of my head. And like, when you see that fans have like a favorite, like you have Ambelina on their arm, or, Willem Ryan, and, it's just like, wow, that's like me resonating with like Freddy Krueger or Darth Vader. It's so cool.
No,
absolutely.
I want to talk about the fandom for a second here, and I'm going to lead this part by
saying that we got a tweet from a fellow musician, Claudio. It is a Peanut from 311, and he's listening right now. So he tweeted at us. So I wanted to give a shout out to Peanut, who's listening this morning. But you mentioned the fandom, and I'm going to give you an example. And this is a killing two birds with one stone, because I want to thank this listener. This morning I came in and there was a box sitting over here in the studio, and I'm like, well, what the hell's that? And I open it up, and first of all, it is a 4-pack of the Rush beer. All right, that was sent to me. All right, and it came with a letter. It says, Preston, a beer to share with a fellow Rush fan. These are not for export in the USA, so I coordinated a delivery from Henderson Brewing Company in Toronto to an associate's friend in Ontario. It was then driven from Ontario to Michigan to his mother's house.
Oh, my God.
A work associate drove from Michigan to Ohio. From Ohio, it was driven to Harrisburg, where I picked it up, and I drove it home to Langhorne, PA, and I now share a few with you. That is from Dean Gutierrez, an MMR listener. And so the reason I bring this up, A, I wanted to thank Dean. And second of all, in the world of progressive rock, there is a connection with the fans that I think is unique to itself. And because of conceptual works like you guys do, Claudio, there's further discussion about the music other than, I really like that song. Man, that rhythm's great. Or this guitar part's really awesome. You start talking about the subtext of the characters and the stories and all that stuff, and it just makes for a really special fan base. And I wanted to get, your impressions on that.
Yes, we are so fortunate. I mean, our fan base is just amazing that they get into all of those sorts of things. Like last fall, we did a cruise that sold out, and everyone was super respectful. It was just, it's more of a family. We see the same faces a lot of the time. We've created relationships with our fans. It's something that, again, like I just never thought I could only have dreamed of.
Right.
And it's like, it's like happening.
I wonder,
we're lucky in it.
I wonder, Claudio, how much of that connects to, and you come from a point of being shy. And and I did stand-up comedy. I'm doing this now, but initially I was kind of shy. And I think there's something, that draws a certain. You don't want to make blanket statements. It's for everybody, obviously, if you enjoy. But I think you're probably connecting in a way, because that's well known about you and your impetus for starting all this. That the people who don't feel that there's something quite for them, you're providing that. I mean, on a basic level, we can sense your joy over being able to do that. Would that be your greatest accomplishment, you believe, touching people who maybe up to now haven't found that thing that resonates for them?
I think so, absolutely. I mean, it's also like, it also provides something for me. Like, again, going and being shy, it's like, it's hard for me to walk into a room of people I don't know and be a personality. I tend to kind of cower off, and that's the whole idea of being, the Coheed line of one among the fence. I'm the one, at the dance, like, I'm the wallflower. It's just not for me to be a loud personality, and being on stage allows me to do that, and it allows me to be around people with like-minded thing. And sure, maybe it's something that I created that everyone's into, but it allows me to kind of be open. It's a starting place for a conversation and friendship. Maybe that is, I created friends.
You did. You clearly did.
If you're just tuning in, it's Claudio Sanchez, who's with Coheed and Cambria, and they're going to be in town in July. Tickets go on sale with the show at the Leah Chorus Center tomorrow at 10 a.m. We played the song Shoulders as we were leading into the interview. You guys have a new song called The Liars Club. I saw the video, really cool animation. And like I said at the top, Claudio, not being aware of the full body of work of Coheed and Cambria, Liars Club seems like it has a different tone to it from the other songs that I've kind of skimmed through in your catalog. Dare I say, a little poppier. I mean, I'm trying to think of a better term, but what's the story behind the song and the sound of it all?
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of this material was written pre-pandemic, through the pandemic, and I was just kind of open to all ideas. I figured, here's an opportunity for me to flex. Even Shoulders feels like a very new version. I mean, when that song was written, it was, primarily because, our A&R threw this idea at me. I was up for the challenge. I created it. I put it aside. It wasn't going to come. It wasn't going to happen, you know. And then I brought it to my co-producer, Zach Cervini, and he was like, "Wow, this is a vibe that's not on the record. We should work with this." And that became a song. And kind of the same thing for Liars Club. Although Liars Club, I think, was a little more immediate because I knew that was, you know, I thought that was a theme that I really wanted to express on the record. Like, who doesn't want to, you know, like embrace the lie sometimes, you know, when reality just isn't, you know, the way you see it.
No, I was just wondering as you were talking and talking about that in Preston's question, and you mentioned Star Wars earlier. We have obviously know you're a fan. I think of George Lucas, who had the original vision, and perhaps tries to go in different ways. And he got eaten alive by his own fan base. Do you feel you get the latitude from your fan base to go out on these sort of creative ventures that might depart slightly from your sound?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, because it's not something that's foreign from what we've done. I mean, it's definitely we're definitely stretching with this new record more so than we have in the past. But we've also laid the groundwork in past records to do things like this. Okay. Like, if you guys fall into the discography at all, you find songs like Evagria or Number City. These are all songs that really kind of stretch outside of like what the comfort nucleus of what Coheed and Cambria does. So we're always kind of breaking out of that a bit. But we do it more so with this record. And I think it's really more appropriate because of the theme of the album.
33 WMMR.
All right, Bizarre File one more time.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
All right, some stories sharing, some interesting ones here. I think that this is quite possibly, this is one of the most creative moves by a lawyer that I've read in recent memory. All right, so 2 men convicted of retail theft at a Kohl's in Colorado tried to get a lesser punishment because they stole stuff that was on sale.
Yes. Okay.
So it wasn't worth as much.
Let's hear them out.
Listen to this. This is brilliant. The men's attorneys made an argument for reduced charges after admitting stealing from the store in Parker, Colorado. Michael Green and Bryden Bolden were nicknamed the KitchenAid Mixer Crew by the DA in reference to the kitchen appliances they stole. They also took designer shoes and clothing. Now, they were both ultimately convicted of felony theft. However, the DA's office said the men's attorneys argued for softer misdemeanor charges, citing discounts on the item. They cited that the sticker prices and Kohl's coupons that they had,
Kohl's coupons, which are legit,
would bring the items down below the threshold for felony theft in Colorado, which is $2,000.
Were they employees? Because they would have got 10% discounts.
The documented value of the items stolen was $2,094.98, the district attorney's office said. The argument failed to sway the judge as both men received felony convictions. Green was sentenced to 15 months in prison, Bolden to 90 days in jail, with credit for time served as a condition of 18 months probation. Prosecutors argued that sales and discounts only count if you actually pay for the items.
All right, I'll concede that.
The convictions followed the identification of Green and Bolden through surveillance footage. After being arrested, they both initially pleaded not guilty before pivoting to their argument around the sale price.
I think there's a case to be made that no thief ever said, I just stole this and I saved big on it.
Right. I am impressed by that, by the way. One person was taken to a hospital after an explosion Tuesday. This is in Pennsylvania at a cottage on a Sewickley Heights estate. So here's another house exploding.
What the hell's going on?
A plumber was working in the cottage when the explosion occurred. He was taken to a local hospital and his condition is unknown. The explosion destroyed the cottage. The main house on the property, a 7,093 square foot mansion that sits about 500 feet away from the cottage, was not affected. A husband and wife were in the mansion at the time of the explosion and were not hurt. And fire officials have not released the names of the homeowners. They declined to comment on what might have caused the explosion.
We're looking at it. It's a crater.
Yep. The Allegheny County Fire Marshal's office is investigating. So there's been a few of those this year.
Yeah.
Really.
I don't like that.
No. All right, this is messed up. A Florence, Mississippi mother now knows what happened to her missing son, Jonathan David Hankins, over a year after his disappearance. So last summer, Gretchen Hankins reported him missing to the sheriff's department after he didn't return home from a weekend out with friends. So only on December 4th, when the NBC News reporter had visited her home, did she learn the truth. He had been found dead in a Jackson hotel room in May of 2022, and the coroner's office knew his identity. Despite that, officials failed to notify his family of his death before burying him in a pauper's field at the Hinds County Penal Farm on September 14, 2022.
So they knew who it was.
Yep.
They had him. So what was the reason for that?
Yeah.
And this is the third person that NBC News has identified since October that the Hinds County officials buried at the penal farm without notifying their next of kin or of their death.
I don't understand.
Isn't that ridiculous?
Why?
So the police department and the coroner's office handling of the deaths of Dexter Wade and Mariel Moore drew national attention and outrage. In both cases, the county buried the men in paupers' graves, which are typically used for a person who has no next of kin or claim their body, can claim their body or afford to bury them after their death. Like Hankins' family, officials did not inform either Wade or Moore's families about the deaths before burying them. Gretchen Hankins told NBC News she called nearby hospitals, made posts on social media asking anyone who may have seen her son to contact her. She also said she periodically contacted the sheriff's department over the last year for an update for her missing son's case, to no avail. Officials told her repeatedly they had no updates. But apparently there was some kind of policy where they would hand over that responsibility to maybe the coroner's office. But the police chief, Joseph Wade, announced that the department had created a new death notification policy, giving officers direct responsibility to contact the next of kin of a person whose death they are investigating. Before that date, the department had no existing death notification policy.
It makes me think of that scene in The Naked Gun where he's going through the filing cabinet and he pulls out the evidence and goes, hey, it was innocent.
Yeah,
Frank,
exactly.
he put him to death last year.
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty messed up. So they are going
horrifying.
They're amending that to make sure that people are then contacted. The coroner's office did not immediately respond to a request for comment from this story. And then we'll do one more story. The legal battle between a Jacksonville, Florida-based peanut company, D's Nuts, and YouTube superstar Jimmy Donaldson has come to an end, and D's Nuts got what it wanted. In August, D's Nuts, a company that sells millions of dollars of gourmet-flavored peanuts and apparel each year, filed a federal lawsuit against Feastables Incorporated, which is backed by Donaldson, alleging trademark infringement. Donaldson, better known to his millions of followers as Mr. Beast, owns a line of products under Feastables, which include candy bars sold in stores across the country. The candy bars include 3 flavors, but it was the milk chocolate and peanut butter flavored bar, D's Nuts, that caught the attention of D's Nuts LLC because of its name. Now, there's a spelling difference.
All right.
The company is spelled D-E-E''S, and the YouTuber has spelled his D-E-E-Z.
Yeah.
All right. So, but last week, a federal judge approved a permanent injunction. Mr. Beast-backed company can no longer use the name D's Nuts or anything else resembling D's Nuts to sell its candy bars. Details of the settlement between the two companies were not made public. The D's Nuts snack bar, spelled with a Z, is still available for purchase on the Feastables website as of this past Tuesday for the cost of $30 for a 10-pack. The webpage includes a photo of a smiling Mr. Beast holding up one of the candy bars, but he's going to have to get rid of that
because of D's Nuts.
D's Nuts, not having it. All right, and there you go, your bizarre file for this morning. All right, we will take a break. We got something for you to win via the lesson question, so we'll test your knowledge of today's program when we return. Trash and music news coming up, too. We'll be right back.
The mind is opening up for this one character, and we're starting to realize that it experiences like all infinite outcomes. This one character of Vaxis is consumed with, instead of seeing the world as we see it, he sees it as maybe the static of a television, because he can see every outcome at one moment.
Sounds like Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah.
Right. But almost so much more that he physically can't interact with any of them, if that makes any sense, into like a catatonic state, because it's so consuming, so overwhelming. And that's why I think, you know, it made sense conceptually to really kind of step outside of, like I said, the nucleus of what we do and kind of stretch. Like you'll hear songs like Disappearing Act, which really kind of stretches the window of the waking mind. There's all sorts of stuff on this record. I'm really, really proud of it. And Liars Club, I thought, was a really cool, like, statement to put out there, just to kind of get everyone's feet wet, you know?
I love these concepts. It's really deep and heady stuff, but let's go back just a little bit. Did your old band break up because of an argument over gas money? Is that correct?
No, I don't know what. No, but where's that from? That's like a Quidditch question. That's
Wikipedia. It was on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute.
We're like, what? So we definitely almost broke up because of well, there were several moments, but like, to be completely honest, like when Coheed first started back in 2002, like the attention to the band was so intense. Like we would play shows and opening for bands, and we would play, and once we were done, like the place would empty.
Oh.
It was like severe. Like we had no idea that we had that impact at that time. And so it really got to me as like the guy with the hair, the focus point. It like, I didn't realize like how much of a magnet I would become. And it kind of scared me. Like so much so that, you know, I broke down, and gas money wasn't never, you know, that might've been like, who the hell knows? I have no idea. But for real, like, you know, my mentality was like disintegrating. Like, wow. And you know, coming from like a person that, you know, again, like I am very much an introvert. It was really hard to be like, to have that so much attention when I grew up in my adolescence with none.
Huh.
So, you know, yeah.
Were you guys friends first or bandmates first, do you think?
Travis and I have been friends since we were 13. Like I met him through a mutual friend who wanted to start a band. So I guess we were bandmates before we even became friends, if that makes any sense. Before we even met, we were going to be in a band. But Travis is like Travis is my brother. I mean, it's so wild how like insane and in sync we are, and how at one point we want to kiss each other, and at another point we want to just strangle each other. I mean, it's like, yeah. So we've been friends forever. Josh, I had known because our bands had played together. He was in a different band, and our scenes had crossed paths. And I remember this one story when Josh and I were drinking one time after a show. We were in different bands at the time, and we were on the side of a house, you know, urinating or whatever. And I had said to him, and his band, to be honest, had been signed to Universal already. They were off and about to become something, but things had happened. And I had said to him, I said, you know, one day we're going to play in a band together. And he was like, yeah, right. Like, you know, because their career was starting, and here we are. So Josh, I guess we had been friends, you know, I guess in a band first. I'm not entirely sure how to answer that, but to be honest, like Josh, just to go off, you know, I play in a band with like some of the greatest musicians. I think they're in my opinion, I think they're very underrated. They don't really get like Josh. I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever seen us play, but he's like one of the worst parts of my job is I don't really get to watch Josh play, because he's just such a animated, beautiful piece of art when he's behind the kit. And you know, I just think he needs more recognition, as well as Travis. Just very interesting people. And Zach is actually the newest member of the band. I mean, well, when you say that, it's like 10 years, because our original bass player got arrested for robbing a Walgreens. I don't know if you guys know that.
Yeah. That's better than the gas money story.
We were aware.
No, but it's interesting how, you know, you evolve as a band, and how you have to like learn how to like be around each other in a whole bunch of different settings. You're talking about tour buses, you know, pre-show, on stage, post-show. And, you know, these are things that you just sort of have to like learn about each other. And, you know, like, you didn't make a vow to one another, you know, on an altar in front of a whole bunch of people, but like you want to make this work because it did work at a certain point. So, the band today is different than the band 5 years ago, is different than the band 10 years ago. And do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I totally know what you mean, because it's nobody really understands like what it's like to be locked in a van, right? That's how we came up. It was, 5 guys in a van, well, initially, 5 guys, one, and 4 members. But you start to see personalities and people, like, you become family, it's like, living with, who you're blood-born to be with. Now you're in a van doing that, and the quarters are way smaller, But, right? So it's like, and you start to see these parts of people manifest, myself included, that it's like, wow, you really, really get to know people in a way that you don't with others. And, now we're lucky. This life has afforded us the opportunity for the luxuries of buses and, hotel rooms and things like that. And, 20 years into it, like, we all really have come to love what we do. Whereas, like, through that 20-year stretch, there may have been times where we really disliked it. Right. And not the artistic part, but just the living, but for the most part, I mean, every day it feels like somebody talks about how excited and how grateful we are to be out.
Wow. That's great. It's such a it's an awesome place to be, man. And your fans are loving that you guys are having the success you are, and you're coming to town, and people have been stoked about the release of this album. So it's really cool. And judging by just glancing over our text messages, you got a bunch of new fans from sitting down and talking with us too, which is great.
Oh, sick.
I love it. So the Leah Chorus Center, July 27th, and tickets are available tomorrow at 10 a.m. CoheedandCambria.com. The new album, Vaxis 2, A Window of the Waking Mind. Make sure you get that. We've been playing some songs from the album, and we're just excited. Thanks so much for coming on this morning, Claudio, and continued success to you and the band, brother.
Oh, thank you very much, and thank you for having me. This was awesome. I had a really good time.
Excellent. Awesome. Claudio Sanchez, guys, of Coheed and Cambria, and they're the real deal, man. They their body of work is dense. It is just, it's fun. And by that, I just don't mean by heavy in the music. There's a lot in the story.
Well, this is everything that, again, when we were getting concept albums, you were getting thematic albums and all that stuff, and you'd be in that world. This speaks to exactly that. So I'm going to start moving through the music, because I really like what I've been hearing. Yeah. Yep. And I love the whole concept of this thing that is the band.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And Press, I almost opened up a whole new door of conversation there, because when we were talking about being locked in a van with people, and I just kept thinking about the book that you turned me on to, Project
Hail Mary.
Oh, Hail Mary. Yeah.
Where they're in space, and they put these astronauts into suspended animation, and it's not because they don't want them to age. It's because if they had them in a spaceship for as long as they did, they would murder each other. Yeah. That's a legit thing. So when you have these bands that are just on tour, and they're on tour for the rest of this month and through March, and then all through the summer, like when you're locked in a room with people, just think about how much you guys want to kill me after 5 hours of being in the studio, and then times that by 1,000.
Throw you on a bus with us. All right. We love you though, man. We're intrigued by our next guest creation, so much so that we had to do it on our own. Yet we don't have facilities to cook in. So Pagano's is a new restaurant that opened up in our building. We've been restaurantless.
It's been a nightmare
for 2 years until last week, so that was nice. And as soon as they move into the building, we asked them to do something for us, and they did.
We had to test it out.
And they took a bag of potato chips, actually a few different bags of potato chips, and made mashed potatoes out of them. And we got inspiration from our next guest to do that. And you know what? We gave it, it was interesting and tasty.
I liked it.
In its own way. But our next guest is actually coming to, and I assume we are interrupting his vacation because he's in Cancun, Mexico right now. You know him from his YouTube channel. Please welcome Sam, the cooking guy.
Yeah. Hey, good morning, everybody. How you guys doing?
Wonderful. Back down. It's 5 minutes after 10. Had a pretty nice day today, even though it's chilly, the chilliest day of the week. Our high only about 42 degrees, but we're going to have this sunshine all day long, and that's going to help things out a tiny bit. Tomorrow, 54 and sunny. Same thing Saturday, and then rain might creep its way in on Sunday and Monday, and temperatures in the mid to upper 50s then. So we're getting some of that on the way. We are about to give something away. We have a lesson question. We're going to give away a 4-pack of tickets, and this is for Luminature. It's at the Philadelphia Zoo. And the question that I will pose to you is this. If you are living the American dream, what kind of a vehicle should you be able to purchase? 215-263 WMMR. If you're living the American dream, we were talking about that. You have to make a certain amount of money to get the American dream. You should be able to buy what kind of a vehicle? 215-263 WMMR. Why don't you call us now if you know the answer? And while you're doing that, we'll do this.
The trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
Brought to you this morning by Family and Company Jewelers. Get a little extra action under the mistletoe this year with a gift from Family and Company Jewelers, South Jersey's holiday diamond destination. What's up this morning, Steve?
Well, after saying she would never take weight loss medication to slim down, Oprah Winfrey has finally admitted that she recently used an Ozempic-like drug to drop 40 pounds. Oprah says after years of fighting a weight issue, she finally realized how much she enjoys lying.
Oh, my God.
A recording of Jonathan Majors berating his ex-girlfriend, Grace Jabari, and repeatedly telling her he is a great man was played in court yesterday. Majors reportedly objected to the recording, complaining that they left the part out where he talks about his huge penis. I like that one. And finally, the 4th film in the Kung Fu Panda franchise was announced yesterday. With the projected early March release date, producers say Kung Fu Panda 4 will pick right up at the beginning of Kung Fu Panda 3 since no one saw it. And that's your Hollywood Trash.
All righty, we're going to see if you do indeed know the answer to this question. If you're living the American dream, you should be able to buy what kind of vehicle? 215-263 WMMR. We will go to Sean to try and get an answer. Yo, Sean, morning, bud.
Privilege.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, Sean, what kind of a vehicle would you buy if you lived the American dream?
A hovercraft.
Yes. A hovercraft. Hang on, bud. For you, we're going to give you a 4-pack of tickets for Luminature at Philadelphia Zoo. Luminature is back for another season of sight, sound surprises at the Philadelphia Zoo now through January 6th. And there's going to be more than 1 million twinkling lights. It's the biggest and brightest holiday light show yet. Reserve your tickets now at philadelphiazoo.org.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
Brought to you this morning by Embers Smokehouse and Tap in Chalfont, and offers a unique twist on classic barbecue. Enjoy chef-inspired plates that are perfect for dinner, a game, or holiday parties. You can visit Embers Smokehouse and Tap.com for the menu. Out tomorrow is a deluxe edition of the Southern Harmony and Musical Companion, a Black Crowes chart-topping sophomore album from 1992. It was released May 12th of that year. The 10-song set debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 on its way to double platinum sales, and launched 4 #1 rock chart singles: Remedy, Sting Me, Thorn in My Pride, and Hotel Illness. It was a successful follow-up to the band's 1990 debut, Shake Your Moneymaker. Frontman Chris Robinson says that he considers it the most crucial album in the Black Crowes catalog. He said, I think it's he said, Shake Your Moneymaker is the most popular, and it's important, but I think Southern Harmony is probably overall the best record we ever made in a one. It's the one. Rich was just saying that it solidified the Black Crowes and what we would become, and what would we be, what we would do, good, bad, indifferent, he said. The deluxe edition of Southern Harmony will include a more companions disc of unreleased outtakes and B-sides, including Miserable and a cover of Ann Peebles' 99 Pounds, and a previously unreleased 1993 concert in Houston as well.
Them getting back together was something we never thought would happen. The brothers, and they did. And there's some good footage of them throwing people off stage.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so this is out and re-released. It's great music with some extras in it. So, Motley Crue's Mick Mars posted a video for his new single called Right Side of Wrong. He commented about the upcoming debut solo album and said that people are going to hear my tone, my sound. I am what I am, and nobody else can do it. And like everyone, I've got a limited number of years, so I'm going to do it all. I'm going to do all that I can to do a lot of stuff. He
Have
said.
you ever heard him singing? Or I mean,
No.
Like I don't know how that would be, what that would sound like.
That's a good question. Is he singing on this? I have no idea. I haven't listened to it yet. I'm
Let's
not
say yes.
all that familiar. Nick's going yes.
I think he is.
It looks like in this video that he appears to be the only person in it. So yeah, I guess he does. This is the second song he's released from The Other Side of Mars, which will be out February 23rd. This is cool. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame member Michael McDonald is set to release What a Fool Believes, a memoir. It was written with actor, comedian, and best-selling author Paul Reiser. And it includes unforgettable tales from his storied career as a member of the Doobie Brothers.
So they're buds?
And Steely Dan, as well as his chart-topping solo artists. I guess so.
Yeah. Michael McDonald's great.
The book follows him from a rising session musician and backing vocalist to becoming a 5-time Grammy Award-winning rock star. And that will be available on May 21st. That's going to be a good book, I'll bet you.
Saw him twice when they used to have the New York Rock and Soul Review. Donald Fagen would put that together, and you'd have people like Skaggs and Phoebe Snow and all these people. And McDonald was on the bill twice and was tremendous.
Yeah, he's a great musician. He's one of those just super talented people. And then finally, Ozzy Osbourne said reality television today is very different than it was when his family's MTV series The Osbournes was on the air.
In the golden days.
In an interview with Spin Magazine, he said that what they call reality TV is really not reality. He said what they do now is kind of a scripted reality. He said it's not raw, it's not real, it's not real reality. With our show, what you saw was what really went on. It wasn't contrived. It wasn't scripted. The Osbournes, which ran for 4 seasons from 2002 to 2005, was a part of the initial wave that launched the reality TV boom of the 21st century, including Keeping Up with the Kardashians and the Real Housewives franchise. He said the reality show wasn't anything different than our regular life because that's the way we were anyway. And we didn't become the Osbournes that you see just for the show. That's the way we are, and all they did was take the funny bits out of it.
Oh, you remember that show was a revelation. I mean, we were absolutely stunned.
Yeah.
I mean, that was it. Jack Osbourne wandering around in his G.I. Joe outfit and all the weird stuff that was going on. There's a classic scene of Ozzy down the hall sitting on a chair
and falling.
Falls backwards.
It was hilarious. And yeah, it really was. If you go back and you watch it and you compare it to the Kardashians and not Desperate Housewives, but Real Housewives, you can see that they've clearly created these scenarios and that they're playing little parts.
Right.
These guys were they're quirky and they were just living their lives and they just rolled video on them all the time.
Yeah.
And they took the best bits.
Yeah.
And then they put them together and then you had the show. He said it's really interesting because people love the Kardashians. He said they took it one stage further. They saw what we did and said, this is a good idea, but they organized themselves. He said that his family went about their show a certain way, and we're only going to keep doing it, the reality series, if their family was all in and it felt right. He said, at the end of the day, every season, my wife would sit us all down and go, all right, what do you want to do? Do you want to do another season or not? And Ozzy recalled after the 3rd year, the production crew started to ask us to do things that we wouldn't normally do. And he said, at that point, I lost interest in it.
Yeah, no.
So they just kind of, they did the right thing.
I enjoyed the series while it was on.
Yeah. And there you go. That is what I have in music news. Did you want to do this now? Or do it. One of our interns is leaving. Today is her last day. I
don't like it.
I know. So we're going to get
want it.
We're going to get Lauren in here to do the official bye-bye as she heads off, leaving the nest, as they inevitably will do, Steve.
So young, pushing them out of the nest. You hate to see it, but you know they need to fly. And this is what they do.
All right, Lauren,
she
come
will
on
fly
over.
forward.
Come on over here. How you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you guys?
We're good. So it's your. Oh yeah, go ahead and put your headphones on. Yeah, absolutely, most definitely. It's your final
There
day
we go.
today.
Now we're talking.
How long have you been with us now?
It has been since August.
Okay.
So a little while.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been so much fun. I'm
Okay.
very sad.
Oh man.
Very bittersweet right now.
So wait, you're a damn good intern and a big asset to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I try to do my best around here.
You did. If you would only consider staying around and working for free, we could really do that.
Yeah, we could really use you if you wanted to work for free.
Yeah.
Westchester.
Westchester?
Student, yeah.
Really?
I'm a golden ram.
Okay. What's
Yeah,
what's your area of study?
Media. So I'm getting my master's in communication right now.
Okay.
So I'm finishing that up in the spring, and then I'll be looking for a job.
And what all were you doing with the radio station there at
So yeah, I was
Westchester?
with WCUR, which is Westchester. I was their sports director, and then I had 2 shows, one with a co-host, one with just myself doing like music, talk and stuff. So spent a lot of time. That was like where I first really liked radio. So
Nice.
that kind of led me to here.
sports broadcasting, something that interests you?
Yeah, actually no.
Okay.
No, I did it, and I was like, uh-oh, I don't think this is for me.
All right. Yeah.
But I did the play-by-play kind of for the football team. But it basically was like me being like, oh my God, the sky's blue, and there's people out on the field, and they're running right now. Like, I was like, there's men out on a field, and so that's when I thought, I don't know.
Lauren, I think when people are I try to give this advice sometimes to our interns, that when people are trying to figure out what they want to do with their lives and their career or whatever, it's really important to figure out what you like, but it's also really important to figure out what you don't like.
Yes.
And if you you dabble in sales or something and you're like, this isn't for me, it's smart to know that ahead of time. So if you're not into sports radio, it's good to know that now.
It was definitely good. Like I did a lot. Like I wrote for the Quad, which is our campus newspaper. I like doing that. Not my favorite, but like I don't know. I kind of took college as finding out what I liked and what I didn't like. So I really like radio. I like our television station. I like doing that. I like writing. I just don't like sports.
You don't like sports?
And that's what I got out of my degree. So, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, everyone would be like, hey, what you doing? What are you talking about? And I was like, there's cheerleaders flipping. My name's Lauren. I have blonde hair and blue eyes.
Oh,
and everyone
that's
was like, hey
funny.
guys, let's wrap it up.
Nice.
So,
Well, you want to be on the mic, so and you want to be on the talent side. Well, not the talent side, but the performing side, I should say.
Yeah.
And this is something you want to do, and you know,
absolutely.
you're good at it.
Your finger still has a Band-Aid on it.
Oh, yeah.
Are you
yeah,
okay?
a little update on me chopping my finger off. Just
Yes.
slowly but surely growing back,
Okay.
like a little starfish.
How did you cut it?
There was a lip liner that I had to take care of.
always
I
the
was getting ready to
cosmetics,
go
man.
out,
Yeah.
and I
trying to get the last
thought-
bit of liner.
I was talking to Preston about I have a nice little hunting knife right next to my bed, and I said that's definitely from my redneck father, my redneck roots, having my hunting knife, and I cut my finger off with it. So
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And like her redneck father, she didn't think she needed to go to the hospital. Or
Like
go
your
to
dad, yeah.
urgent care or
Yeah,
anything
it
like
was
that. Nah, just
fine.
suck on the tip of it. And
yeah,
Look
I
who's
mean,
right.
is it turning black and falling off? Whatever. I'm just
No.
kidding. It's fine.
You're fine.
And when you dealt with, obviously, out of the, if people don't remember, out of the Super Bowl broadcast, we found out you were diabetic,
I'm
right?
a type 1. There's so much wrong
Right.
with me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have a finger. I'm diabetic. What else?
Yeah, but listen, it was kind of cool. You're very informative about that. So,
yeah, for sure. I'm a mentor for type 1 diabetics. So people
Yeah.
who are just diagnosed, I like help them out.
Oh, you
So-
do really?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
You
good
laughed
for
at
you.
that. Oh,
I
that's
did.
crazy. Yeah.
I thought you were just saying being in your presence, you're an inspiration.
Oh well,
to
that
people who are
too.
type 1
Honestly, I'm glad you
diabetics,
brought
so.
it up. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So you help people out. That's
I
awesome.
do, yeah.
Good for you.
Actually, I actually through the JDRF do that. So
Okay.
but I like being informative. Not a lot of people know about it. So
You're a support group for diabetics that don't like sports.
exactly.
So, there we go.
It's very niche.
It's a
but
niche group, but
Niche
group, but still they're there.
Still, they need
yeah.
help.
They need help.
Well, good luck with everything, and thanks for helping us out.
Yeah, absolutely.
in
I
our
had so much
program.
fun. Thank you guys for everything.
You got it. All right, Lauren, guys.
Yay! Thank you.
We're going to take a break. We're going to wrap things up when we come back. Letter Day, Word of the Week, prize, Pierre Robert. Stay with us. You.
I'm good, but let me start by saying interesting is generally not how I hope my recipes are viewed when people make them. You know?
Well, no, listen, here's the deal. I enjoyed the flavor of the potato mashed potatoes. The consistency was a bit interesting. It was very, I know it's potatoes, but it was like even more starchy and stickier than regular mashed potatoes, I thought.
Look, I cannot help with some. This is like eighth hand reviewing here.
Right.
My recipe goes to you guys. You guys don't even make it. You put it in the hands of a brand new restaurant. We have no idea if they can even cook.
It's true.
And now suddenly I'm being rated by this. I don't want the audience to take this one example as
all right. Fair enough. And you have plenty of great examples on your YouTube channel. So hey, number one, what's going on in Cancun? What are you doing there?
Oh, just a vacation with my wife and 2 sister-in-laws and a husband. We tried to put together for a while now, and it's just gotten derailed for one reason or another. So just a little break, because the weather in San Diego is probably 65 or 70 today, and who wants that? That's freezing. So we've come down here.
Yeah, where it's warmer. I can't believe you're checking in from your vacation. We appreciate that. That's really, really cool.
You guys reached out. I saw the comment on Twitter. You reached out, and I was honored. I'm always happy to chat with new friends.
Awesome.
And I hope that you call on me from time to time when you want to berate one of my recipes.
Certainly.
Well, I think he's reading it wrong. We approved.
Yeah, it was.
I in particular thought, not to go off on this too much, but the taking potato chip flavors that you liked. I forget the one that was really a home run. No, listen. I want mashed potatoes made from potato chips to retain some of the potato chip flavor, and they did.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Look, years ago, before YouTube, I had a TV show in San Diego for a whole bunch of years, and we shot a show once that was based around mashed potatoes, and then we did certain things to them in one of the segments. And the person behind the camera never knew what my plan was until I started. And I said, okay, today we're going to start everything with these. And I reached into the pantry and I pulled out those dehydrated mashed potatoes that you guys talked about when you first discussed this. And she stopped the shooting and she went, you're effing kidding me. And I went, no, I'm not. I go, they're potatoes, just in a slightly different form. Look, dried porcini mushrooms are one of the great finds in the world. You rehydrate those and they're glorious.
Yeah.
A potato dehydrate. Come on, it's not the most sophisticated thing to start with. So what's the big effing deal?
Right. No, you're right.
Yes.
Hey, listen, real quick, Sam, you'd mentioned meeting new friends, and I'm new to your YouTube channel, and I can't wait to delve in and find out more about it.
Thank you.
Not knowing much about you, I pick up a little bit of a Canadian pronunciation. Where are you from originally?
I'm from Vancouver, Canada, West Coast, prettiest part of the country, we think.
Stunning. Both Steve and I have been there. It's just amazingly beautiful.
Absolutely.
It's not just beautiful, but it's a really cool city. It's got an amazing vibe. It's got a huge Asian population. It's got British influence from the old days. There's a touch of French. They all go together. They make great food, interesting people.
And you guys got ahead on the marijuana thing way in advance of everybody else. That was pretty awesome.
Way in advance. Look, I was pushing for that as a 16-year-old boy living in that city, and they just they didn't listen to me then. It took them a while. I'd like to think I was the forerunner in that whole process.
So learning more about what you do. You know, I was watching a recipe this morning. It was from one of your newer videos, which was Italian fried rice. I make fried rice at least once a week, maybe a couple times a week.
Yeah.
It's a family recipe. It's really simple. It's nothing special, but it's something that I just love to do. And you've taken it in another direction. Is that, in a sense, what you like to do with most of your videos, is taking food into a new direction?
It is. I mean, sometimes we make fairly straight ahead things. We made mushroom risotto a couple weeks ago. Nothing amazing about the recipe. It's really delicious, but sometimes the goal is really show people that they can make things often that they don't think that they can make, that they're complicated. So I think we found a really interesting niche. When cooking channels are on YouTube, they're generally one of two types: all kitchen-based, sandwiches and salads and breads and blah, 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 that kind of stuff. Or they're sort of all outdoor barbecue-based, like smoking and grilling and sort of typically like cave.
Right. You're right.
And we've mixed the two really nicely. We do almost all of our cooking outside. I'd say 97% is outside. But things outside that then maybe need to go into the oven. We'll make a lasagna that you wouldn't normally make outside. But we like our outside. It's my home. We like the outside set. It looks better. The lighting's better. And you don't need to see me really put something in the oven. If I make a lasagna and I go, this needs to bake for 10 minutes, why do I have to turn around and put it in a stupid oven?
Right.
I really don't. So we do the grilling where we're part live fire show, smoking, grilling, charcoal, Santa Maria style grills, that. And then we're also the side that does make the lasagna, the risottos, that kind of thing. We like to do across the board, so there's a little bit for everybody.
Well, you've got millions of subscribers, and there are loads of people doing different types of cooking on YouTube and other channels and here and there, and they always try to go after some kind of a hook, something that grabs you. And I was surprised, and I appreciated the fact that your presentation, or at least in the production, is very simple. It's very straight ahead. There's there's no magic editing, no little music, graphics and stuff. You keep it pretty simple and straight ahead, which is why I was kind of surprised you have the amount of people that subscribe, because I thought maybe there'd be more of a hook. But no, I'm assuming what it comes down to is you're just making good food.
It's an interesting sort of half comment, half compliment, and half negative compliment. I know your show is really basic. It's like a third grader can do it, and now I'm surprised that you have almost 3.5 million subscribers.
I had a feeling you might take it like that.
So look, we've been on YouTube since 2011, and in 2018 we had 30,000 subscribers. Middle of 2018. From the middle of 2018 to the middle of 2019, we went from 30,000 to 1 million. And then the next year, another million. The next year, another million.
Wow.
And I think what we do, you're right, there is nothing fancy. I do think, though, the technical work, the editing is beautiful. It is, the work for our channel is as beautiful as any TV I've ever done, for a start. It is simple, but I think my goal is that people walk away with a good understanding. So there's more talking in ours, I think, than many of them. Many of them just, it's like 1 cup, 2 cups, stir, mix, pour, bake, that kind of thing. I'll say, do this. And if you don't have this, let me tell you a workaround for it, or here's why I like to do this. I feel like I'm a teacher. It seems silly at times, but I do feel like I'm a bit of a teacher, and I really want people to walk away saying, almost swore.
All good.
I really want people to know that this is how they can do this. I had an idea in 2001 to start a travel show on TV, and the basis of it was show people that they could go to places they thought were complicated, and it wasn't. They could do it. Don't go to North Dakota again this summer. Try someplace you've never been or you've been scared of. Maybe go to Hong Kong or Tokyo or something like that. And, in 2001, sadly, 9/11 happened to change stuff for me. But I decided to find something else I thought I could do on TV that I could also help people learn so that they could go, oh, I can do this. And I came across, literally within a week and a half of 9/11, I came across a cooking segment on a local channel here in San Diego. The guy was making a butternut squash soup. It was September, it was fall, it was a perfect thing to do. It was the most boring, complicated recipe I've ever seen. And as I watched that, I went, holy yes, somebody should make that better. And I went, damn it, I have nothing to do. I will try and make that better. My wife came home from work. I said, I'm going to start a cooking show instead of a travel one. She goes, I think that's a great idea. Just one thing, honey. I go, what? She goes, you just can't cook. I go, but see, here's the genius. I'll make things so easy, people will say, I can do that.
No,
I'll be my own weakest link.
Wow. That makes complete sense, because I'll tell you what, as YouTube has grown over the years, and I remember clearly when the one video of the guy at the zoo that was the only available, and now we have, and we talk about it often, as a teaching device.
Yes.
Okay, yes. I'm fixing this thing in my house. You can find somebody doing that, doing it with the tools specifically that you're using in the specific. Yeah. And so I was just raging about what you just said a few minutes ago. I don't need all the production. I need someone to talk to me. And the way you're saying about giving is sort of a lesson on how to do it. It drives me crazy when they try to get too cute with the information imparting, and I'm there and I got the tools out or whatever. I'm like, just show me. Just tell me
how to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think, a lot of people that cook in the culinary space on YouTube, a lot of them are credentialed in the sense that they've been to culinary school, that kind of stuff. And I have none of that. I've never taken a cooking class. I've never been to culinary school. And I think that benefits me in the sense that I don't lean on that chef terminology, the chef technique, that kind of stuff. I'll say things that regular everyday people would say, and it resonates with them and they can make it. And yes, I swear a lot. I'm sort of not normal that way. I was on a radio program live from Calgary a few months ago. And in the middle of the thing, the guy said the S word.
2 and 1 more time on 93.3. WMMR. It's Everything That Rocks. It's 10:30 on the nose with the Preston and Steve show on this Thursday morning. Magically transforming into a No Sad Bro Friday.
Do you know what we missed this week?
What's that?
Necrophilia Wednesday, right?
Oh, we didn't know. It was Necrophilia Friday.
Did we combine them?
It was incest. The other one was incest.
That's right, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're working on that. But we never settled on a day because I said incest Saturday because the S is kind of together. But
we'll keep it free floating.
But it was Necrophilia Friday because I'll see what I can dig up.
Absolutely, man.
These stories.
Whatever you dig up, we'll hump it.
Tomorrow. It's kind of the way it works. So I would like to thank our lone guest today, and that was Miss Fortune Feimster, who's wonderful. And Fortune will be in the Philadelphia area Miller Theater, February 17th. You can get tickets at kimmelculturalcampus.org. She is really, really funny and a super nice person on top of it.
Love her.
Which always makes it even the better to be able to promote that. Somebody's cool. She had posted something about us online shortly after our conversation with her. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
I love that lady.
Yep, very much so.
I love her too. Who is she?
Her name is Fortune Feimster.
Fortune Feimster?
Yep, she's a comedian.
She's a theme.
Fortune Feimster is her last name.
Teamster. She's a teamster.
With an F as in Frank. So
Cream.
She's great.
I love her.
Yeah, you would.
I do, and I did.
How many sugars you putting in there?
2.
Okay.
2 brown
always,
sugars.
Always 2 brown sugars?
Sugar in the raw.
Okay. All right. Not quite the same as brown sugar.
I guess.
My youngest made a treat the other day, and I realized that if you put brown sugar and butter on pretty much anything,
It's good.
it's the best because she took
She bakes too?
Yeah, she's been making cookies and all kinds of
Are you kidding me?
So listen, you take crescent rolls. You know, the ones that you like, the regular Pillsbury crescent rolls, and you take the brown sugar and butter, and I guess you put it in the inside of them, rolled them up, and I'm telling you, they're like crack cocaine. They're so good, I can't stand it.
Talk is cheap.
Yeah, I know. You know what? I'll see if we can whip up a batch today.
Please
bring those in tomorrow for Necrophilia Friday.
Yeah, because that is the food of the dead.
It'll raise the dead.
Yeah,
it's so good.
I haven't made holiday cookies yet. Christmas cookies, whatever you want to call it.
Let's get going, girl.
We are.
Oh, I'm behind.
Rochelle signed us up for a cookie decorating class.
Oh, where is this?
Sounds like utter torture.
It's going to be in, where is it? I think it's in Quakertown.
Okay.
To be honest, I'll have to find out.
Let's drive to Quakertown and have a cookie Christmas
decorating contest.
Decorating
that sounds like
class.
not fun to you?
That sounds like. No, it doesn't sound fun.
Okay.
That sounds grim.
I don't get you, man.
Well, dude, I don't get you.
You know,
either.
I mean, like
when we're hunting, that's when
you
I
have
get
this in the green room, and then you crap all over cookie decorating.
I'm not crapping on it, man. I'm just saying it doesn't move my spirits and doesn't spark my buttons.
But if it was like making martinis at a friend's house and somebody pulled out some cookies and had some icing and you just kind
You
of
would
did
do
that.
it then, yeah. If you can get hammered while doing it, you're
Yes.
down with it.
Now, if they serve martinis, I'll meet you there.
I had a good phrase last week, Pierre, which is "Don't yuck on someone else's yum," and I like that thought process.
nice.
You know, for Preston, the cookies are yum, and so you shouldn't yuck on it
I
because
like
it takes away some of it. I know, but you're yucking on his yum.
Then let me take this opportunity to apologize for yucking on your yum. May your yum be nothing but lovely.
May my yuck be nothing but yum.
Yes.
Right.
All right.
There we
Excellent. Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah. I think she sent it to me. Sorry.
okay.
I found it.
Oh, where we're doing it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is it in Quakertown?
Yes, I believe so.
All right. Are you ready for the letter of the day?
Yuck.
Born.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter.
All right, and the Preston and Steve show is brought to you today by the letter
V as in victorious.
Fabulous. We have a stock car, actually two stock car racing experiences at Pocono Raceway. It's like you and a friend, so this is good for 2 people. Christmas right around the corner. Don't give another boring gift. put the special someone behind the wheel of a heart-pounding 160-mile-per-hour stock car on the Superspeedway at Pocono Raceway. You can get a gift voucher at 877stockcar.com. That's 877stockcar.com. We'll give that away tomorrow, which is awesome. What is happening today, though, on your show?
Thank you for asking. More tickets for Def Leppard and Journey next summer. We've got that. We've got blocks of George Thorogood, The Clash, and our Christmas block each day. And at 2 o'clock, a conversation with the one and only Dolly Parton.
Wow. Excellent.
That's excellent. I love it.
Cool.
Marissa, you got your gig tonight.
Yes, I'm going to be at Cavs Rittenhouse. Last week when I was in Manayunk, Kathy was saying that's my old stomping grounds. Cavs is my most recent stomping grounds. I love this place, especially the new place. It looks so beautiful. So we're going to be out there with Bud Light. And we're giving away a pair of tickets to the Christmas Day game between the Birds and the Giants. And we have a lot of Eagles gear, some green T-shirts, and some Bud Light gear.
Nice.
So coming out, it is from 7 to 9 tonight at Cavs Rittenhouse.
Awesome. Excellent. All right, I want to thank our sponsors. Preston and Steve Show brought to you today by Dunkin'. And the Preston and Steve Show runs on Dunkin'. Also brought to you by Wawa. They have gift cards for anyone on your list. Happy holidays from Wawa. Tomorrow on the show, looking forward to this actor, fantastic actor, Jason Isaacs will be joining us.
Oh, nice.
Lucius Malfoy from the Harry Potter series and tons of other stuff throughout the year. So he will be joining us, and we'll give away everything we have left to give away, including more Christmas Miracle Passes and so on to ring in the weekend. That's it. We're done. Rage on. Have yourself a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow, friend. Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.